Good evening, everybody. It's time once again for the GPVWC Super League. It's the 12th round of the 18-round 2017 Championship, brought to you in association with simnews.tv, Downforce UK and Stormcharge. And what an absolutely incredible race this promises to be. We're at Monza, the cathedral of speed, and it's going to be an absolutely amazing 53 laps around the Autodromo Nazionale di Monza. Jake Sanson, Josh Anderson, and special guest Tom Parker in the commentary box with you for this one. Tom Parker, of course, is the Vodbull Racing test driver. So we've got some expert analysis through the race this time round, and it's going to be an absolutely cracking race as we've got here some amazing battles to come, particularly when you look at the fact that we've got a very interesting pole position here, Josh. It's going to be Rudy Van Buren, but only just ahead of Alex Cooper.
Yeah, going to be very interesting. You got to factor in, though, that Cooper's been given a 10-place grid penalty. This is actually very late, so he'll actually start 12th. So you got to factor that into the equation, so he won't be quite starting on pole. But a very close qualifying session where the top 14 were separated by just 0.9 of a second, which is pretty phenomenal when you think about it. But this is Monza. It lends itself to close racing.
Certainly does, and of course that means we should get a lot of slipstreaming, some good battles out there, and some interesting results. One in particular I want to point out from qualifying, our last time out winner at the Belgian Grand Prix, Risto Capit. He is only going to be starting from 9th position at the very highest, although has he got a penalty, Josh?
I don't believe either of the Vodbulls do, so they are going to be okay on that front, but yeah, going to be very interesting to see what Risto does from 9th. I mean, obviously, if Rudy just storms off, he'll be on the prime strategy, and Risto will be on the second. But yeah, going to be interesting stuff.
And there's a lot of drivers who seem to be pretty strong here. We've got a couple of new faces, in particular over at Adonis Engineering. The musical chairs at that squad continues as they've brought in a very talented racer. Jonej Simoncic is in the car, Josh.
Yeah, Simoncic, a phenomenal driver. Really is one of the best I know of, and extremely, extremely talented. What a steal for Adonis that is to have Jonej in the car. I'm sure he'll be very impressive in this qualifying session and in the race and in the warm-up. He's just impressive.
He's just a very impressive chap. And, of course, he is joining Fran Lopez back in the car after his segue in the World Fastest Gamer contest about a couple of weeks ago. But he is still doing well in that, but he has managed to find time in his hectic schedule to return to the fray here at Monza. Several other drivers, of course. The regular faces are here once more. We've got the likes of Lee Morrison, Nick Rowland at Mad Cape, David Fidek, and of course, Florian Geyer still at Nordtjen. Alex Cooper in the Hawkeye Racing team is joined once again by Bastien. Well, no, he's got a new teammate this time because it was going to be Lucas Euler who made his comeback at Spa. But now there's a new face, and it's Bastien Paisler from the Formula Challenge series.
Yeah, Bastian's proven himself as a very capable candidate in Formula Challenge, regular race winner, always up there with the top guys in his series. So to see him get a shot in the Hawkeye is great because, it goes to show they're looking out for new talent. And it also goes to, show that, they want to give people a chance. And I'm sure Bastian's going to be feeling under a pressure, but really he shouldn't be under feeling any pressure. He should just really be focusing on enjoying his first Super League race.
Wouters Automotive still has Gergo Baldi and Jarl Tyen in the car, so no major difficulties there in terms of their status. Tobias Olsen is still there at the Storm Racing team, and he, of course, is being joined in the squad once again by Liam de Waal, so good to see him doing a cracking job again. Over at Street Fighter, it's David Francic and Ben Horrell. For Red Archer, Jason Muscat is back in the car once again, and he is joined in the Red Archer squad as is becoming normal for him now, actually. Red Archer, Jeff Fournier, who joined the team at Spa, and after his incredible debut with the team, or certainly his most recent debut, I should say, he's been absolutely brilliant, so there's no reason to change at all there. Then, of course, you've got the likes of Bart de Vos and Ben Schubenek over at Kernau. No major reason to change there, and they're all fine and dandy. At Vodbull, of course, it's Rudy Van Buren and Risto Capit. No changes there. And over at Green Stripes Racing, it's Gerrit de Vries and Daniel Lovett once more. So we've got a good grid, 22 drivers, all gunning for glory. 3 minutes to the end of the warm-up session. But one thing is for certain here, Josh, unpredictability is once again very much the buzzword here, because even though Rudy Van Buren's got pole position, it's not by much.
Yeah, it was so close in the actual qualifying that, you never know what's going to happen come the race. I'm sure that Rudy's going to be watching his back this race. He's going to be concerned about the people who are around and about where he is. I mean, you've got the likes of Ty and Simitic, DeVos are all going to be up there chasing him, and there's not much in it. Monza, you know, there's practically every single straight section is an overtaking opportunity because there's so much slipstream, so little downforce, there's so many chances to get through, and it's going to be so interesting to see what this is going to be like for everyone as well. And to go back to Jeff Fournier, I'm sure at this point he must be getting a primary driver contract with the team, because obviously he's come in for Thomas Hinz, and well, he's been so good, why change it? I'm sure Red Archer will be looking to get him on a permanent contract.
Well, we did say at the top of the hour that joining us on the stream was going to be Tom Parker. So welcome to the GPVWC Super League broadcast, Tom. Great to have you with us. Tell us what the inside scoop is at Vodbull. What's the atmosphere in the team coming into Monza?
Well, hello, everybody. It's been a long time since I've been in one of these. Yeah, it's obviously, we won't go into it, but obviously there's been a bit of controversy, but mostly there's no point letting us distract us. Obviously, Rudy's looking pretty quick again. Risto, a bit further down than you'd like, but like you've alluded to, pretty close in quali, and like Josh said, every straight is an opportunity to overtake. So I'm expecting Risto to be up there by the end of the race.
Yes, apologies if I cough one too many times in the stream. I have it on automatic voice, and unfortunately I've still got the leftovers of a cold at the start of the week. But don't worry, I'm still struggling on, and we're still going to have a good one. The thing about Monza, Tom, is that you really have an opportunity to put one over on your opponents, because it's all about drafting, it's all about slipstreaming. Strategy is key here because there's very, very little between the car in front of you and the car behind you, so you can really make a big game by playing smart through the race.
Absolutely, and I mean, alluding to like what Josh said about the overtaking, if you, for example, go into the final corner, Parabolica, if you are behind and you overtake, you make an overtake to Parabolica, that's brilliant. You've got another long straight coming up. All it takes is for you to make a mistake into the chicane and bang, go straight past. So, like I said, strategy, especially around somewhere like here, is very, very important.
And of course, with this being a really fast-flowing circuit, there's a lot of incredibly fast apexes, a lot of long straights. It's the tight and twisty parts of the course, like the Ascari chicane's exit in particular has caught a lot of drivers out in qualifying. You've obviously got to look to the Variante della Roggia, that first chicane as well. It's a really, really tricky part of the course, that, but you can gain 2 or 3 seconds by getting it right. And of course, because all of the cars are set up for straight line speed and aerodynamics, it can be really, really tough to get control of the car in those small chicanes. It can be a bit like driving on ice cubes.
Yeah, but I'm not going to lie, it's all about balls. Who can brake latest? If you can brake late and you can make a stick, that is where you'll see the men come from the boys.
At least you're honest about it.
Yeah, absolutely. James Hunt joining us there on the joining us there on the stream.
What can I say?
Absolutely brilliant. Well,
I tell you this, now we've got Murray Walker, James Hunt and Martin Brodden in the same chat. What's not to like?
There you go. I'm loving it. Right, we've got ourselves a 22-car grid. The warm-up session has come to an end. For the record, the fastest lap in the warm-up was set by Jarl Tyen, a 1:25.730. Doesn't really give us much of an indication as to what is actually going to happen in the race. Most of the drivers basically using that 10-minute warm-up session to practice their starts off the grid into that braking zone for the first chicane. And Tom, that's really critical because the start can be the absolute deciding factor in a race like this. The race goes so quickly with 1:25 to 1:26 laps in the middle period of the race. It's over in a flash, and that first corner is so important. You have to stay out of trouble.
Yeah, and it is probably the tightest corner in fastest corner anyway in the calendar. So, I mean, who was it? Tonio Luzzi took out someone there. Who knows what will happen here? Fingers crossed everyone will be nice and clean, but like I said, very tight, very twisty. And you can make up a lot of spaces if you just keep it clean, keep it tidy, and bang, you could be up from 10th up to 5th or so. So this is a very, very, very important turn 1. So
the race director has just told us that we're going to be moving to the broadcast in a moment, moving to the grid. So it's going to be a really interesting one. The drivers and spectators from various series and, of course, team managers are joining us on the chat again. So time to get the crystal balls out and the 8 balls that you're holding in your hands. Who's going to win? It's going to be a really interesting one. Josh, pick a winner.
Oof. Well, it's Monza. Every single shred of smart money says Rudy Van Buren, really, but this is a tough one because, as you say, it's so close, and one mistake is going to cost them everything. And, well, Vodbull have made strategy errors before. We saw that, and that's what gave Florian Geyer a chance to win one. So, oof, this is a tough one, this. This is actually genuinely tough. I am going to say, you know what? I'm going to go Janis Simitic.
Really? You're going to go for it straight out the box?
I'm going to be bold and say Simitic.
That's a really, really wild call here. Tom, of course, we are expecting you to be biased here. Vodball all the way, clearly. But from a spectator's point of view, who do you reckon has got what it takes to win, honestly?
Obviously. I could, obviously, from a spectator point of view as well as a bias, you could say Rudy. But then, like Josh said, Simoncic comes straight in, comes straight up to the front. Lee, I think he's got a point to prove. It is a tough one. I'm going to stick with Josh. I think Simoncic. Only because I'm going to be biased.
Okay, 2 drivers sticking for Simoncic there. I'm going to go for a slightly outside bet here and say that I have a feeling this could be a day for Florian Gaia. The German is always really, really good in difficult situations. Maybe this might not be a Rudy Van Buren cakewalk. The last race at Spa really demonstrated that that man cannot always win. And he's a little bit vulnerable. Flo Gaia starting from P3 on the grid. Who knows? It could be his opportunity. But then, of course, if we've got that Van Buren versus Simoncic battle, which maybe Rudy Van Buren may not be expecting, then we could have a very interesting race as drivers pick up the pieces. But we've got 22 drivers out there on the starting grid ready to get underway. And this one is going to be an absolutely sensational race. It's the fastest race of the year, Monza. It's usually done and dusted within an hour and a half. And I tell you what, every single corner of every single lap is going to be incredibly physically demanding for the drivers. And here, more than anywhere else, getting it right, Josh, is absolutely crucial.
Yeah, it's going to be crucial for these guys to get it right. And, well, for Jake Simoncic, it's going to be crucial to get the start right. He starts right behind Van Buren, but crucially, he starts on the inside of the corner. He's on the inside going into turn 1. So if he can get alongside Van Buren and brake late enough, he has a serious chance of getting the pole position out into the lead sorted. But they are going around another formation lap now, so let's talk ourselves to the grid, Jake.
Indeed we should. Rudy Van Buren starts from pole position once again. Alongside him, the new boy in the pack for Adonis, Jernich Simoncic on the front row. Florian Gaia for Nordsjön is there in P3 alongside the Mad Cape Racing number 62, Lee Morris. David Feidek, reigning champion in 5th position alongside Gergo Baldi in the Wouters Automotive number 30. On row 4 is the second Adonis of Fran Lopez. He shares the 4th row with Bart de Vos in the Kernau Sport number 12. Risto Capit, our Spa-Francorchamps winner, starts only 9th this time with David Francic in 10th position in the Street Fighter. Alex Cooper will line up in P11 in the Hawkeye number 2 with Ben Horrell in the Street Fighter in 12th position in car number 11. On the 7th row of the grid, it's Ben Schupanek who starts 13th and Liam de Waal who leads off the charge for Storm Racing in 14th. His teammate Tobias Olsen is right behind him in 15th on the grid with Jason Muscat in 16th for Red Archer. For the Hawkeye Racing team, Bastian Paisler joins the fray in 17th position. Formula Challenge victories this year should see him well, alongside the Green Stripes racing driver, Gerrit de Vries. His teammate Dan Lovett will start up in 19th along the grid. Alongside him, Jeff Fournier in 20th position for Red Archer. Back of the grid penalties for him as well as for Jarl Tyen in the Wouters Automotive. And at the very back of the grid, desperate to move forward, the other Mad Cape of Nick Rowland. There's going to be several drivers working their way through the pack here, particularly the likes of Fournier, Tyen and Rowland in the back 3, Josh, plus several drivers who will want to prove something here today, to prove they're better than the likes of, say, Risto Capit, Alex Cooper, Gergo Baldi. One man I've got my eye on in particular in the lower end of the top 10, Bart de Vos. This could be a really good race for him.
Yeah, de Vos could really, really work here. And, well, if it does go his way, I expect the Belgian will be right up there. Of course, former Super Cup champion as well. So knows his way around an open wheel or two, does Bart. Always has been a threat in Super League. And could well be today if the cards go his way. But, you know, it's Monza. Anything can happen. It's almost like the Monaco, except it's not Monaco. It's the exact opposite. But still, anything can happen.
Okay, Tom, how many drivers do you think will come a cropper in that first corner? As you said, it's the tightest run to the first corner in the season. Is there going to be drama on that first lap?
I think it depends on the line. I mean, it's such a long way down there as well. I can see a couple of cars spinning. Fingers crossed no one out, but we'll see. I reckon 2 or 3. I'm going back to Florian Gaia quickly. He did win here last year, so who knows?
He certainly did. The lights are coming on. We're ready for action at Monza. Get ready. Avanti! Magnificent start from both of the front row men. They get away cleanly and got the jump on Jernich Simoncic. Gaia is in front of Morris for the moment, but Morris now pulls away and he's going to try and hold that line to the inside. He's got it nicely nailed up in the first corner. Perfect start. A little bit of a tussle between the two Nordsjöns, but they're okay. Further back, it looks as though everything is clean. Yes, everybody is through pretty much without incident. A beautiful start.
Fantastic stuff indeed. Cooper's already charging his way up the field. He's up into 11th and chasing down Francic to go into 10th place. He's going to try and go down the inside, but Francic hasn't held there, so he's not going to get any position made. Meanwhile, Fran Lopez is on the charge, on the reigning champion. Fighting on a threat from the Spaniard, but again, no dice through Lesmo 1. He'll have to wait till Lesmo 2 to get in the shot, but he's too far behind now. But Morris up to third. Simičić is right in front of him. Here's a chance for Morris to prove his point, but Van Buren starting to pull away already.
Liam Duval was the only one who went off the circuit in the Variante della Roggia. So now it's all going to go perfectly fine for the rest of the field. I think this could be the cleanest first lap at Monza I've seen in sim racing for a long, long time. As Lee Morris pushes very hard and over the apron as he tries to close up on Jonic Simičić. He's got clear of the two Nordians though. That's very important for this early stage of the race. And Lee Morris looking very good in third position. But Rudy Van Buren holds the advantage over Jonic Simičić at the moment. Morris, Gaia, Fidek, Fran Lopez up to 6th. Risto Capit, good start from him up to 7th. Ahead of Gergo Baldi, Bart De Vos and David Francic. Francic has got the run on De Vos. He looks like he's going to make the move. He goes to the far side. De Vos is on the inside line. Francic is going to try and breathe in the braking zone. And both of them are going to get close to Gergo Baldi if they're not careful. Francic is going to have to yield, but he's going to keep it to the outside line, then tuck it for the inside for the next apex. Absolutely beautiful run this from Francic. They're going to be side by side, these two. De Vos holds it on the inside line. Francic is up for a battle.
Yeah, he's up for it as well. So is his teammate right behind him, Ben Horrell, who's just gotten back past Alex Cooper. Francic won't be able to go past De Vos here. Cooper won't be able to get past Horrell. But Horrell himself has not got the entry of that second part of the chicane right. And Cooper's going to have a crack at Lesmo. One if he's careful here, which he decides against. So again, waiting for a better run. But this is a feisty one for 10, 11 and 12, certainly. Back at the front, though, it is still Van Buren running away with it. But this is a lovely battle as well.
Yeah, Francic made a mistake through the first Lesmo. That held up Horrell. Here comes Cooper. He's going to have a go. He's going to have to be careful because he's got Jupanek and Liam Duval up here. So Alex Cooper stuck in 12th position. He actually lost the place off the start. So he's not where he wants to be. He's going to have to try and work his way further forward if he can. But Alex Cooper struggling at the moment as Duval and Jarl Tyen are working their way forward. So Tyen in 15th now. Roland in 16th. Olsen is 17th in front of Jeff Fournier. Fournier going for the move on the inside of Olsen. He's going to get this cleanly down the inside into the Parabolica. Beautifully done there from Jeff Fournier. Paisler is 19th. Skip 20th from De Vries and Lovett.
Here comes Liam Duval as well, getting past Ben Superdeck and really chasing down on this Cooper Horrell battle.
Oh, sorry, Lopez. Lopez going for Fidek. Lopez goes for Fidek in turn 1. And that's a clean move. So Fran Lopez up into P5, Josh.
Yeah, fantastic move from the Spaniard. Easy to do there if you get it right. And, well, if you get the inside, it's pretty much yours, that corner. Fran Lopez, absolutely brilliantly done. They are really pushing hard in this first lap. And Simičić is staying with Van Buren as well. There's only about a second between them after the first opening couple of laps. But maybe Jonic Simičić not pushing as much because I'm looking at the track temperature. It's 30 degrees on track. Those ultra softs are going to be shredding each other, and I'm sure Tom Parker knows a thing or two about tyre wear. Tom, in heat this much, the ultras aren't possibly going to last more than 5 laps, surely?
No, they're not going to last too long, as the GSRs have a bit of an issue back at the back there. Yes, tyres. I think, personally, I've not done too much testing for tyres for this round, but I think super softs, you'll see a lot of them this race. Ultras, like you said, a bit hot, going to wear a lot. Rudy Van Buren is someone who's very good on tyres, especially compared to Risto, at least anyway. That's the best comparison I have. But Rudy, maybe see him last 7 or 8. We'll probably see everyone else maybe 6 or 7. It's going to be important around this race because, like we were saying earlier, Josh, before the broadcast started, this is going to be about who can make the least stops. And it's not going to be a lot of pit stops. You're looking at maybe 4 or 5. Maybe not even that, 3.
And this is a season where we've had 7 or 8 pit stops be the norm. So, you know, a less pit stop race is actually going to be a bit of a welcome break for me, personally. But, yeah, going to be interesting to see who does this. Maybe even some slightly harder tyre compounds going to be broken out. Most people have brought the ultra soft, super softs and soft tyres. There are a couple of teams who have brought the mediums, though. So it's going to be interesting to see who breaks out which tyres at which point, Jake.
Well, Rudy Van Buren has the advantage at the moment. 1.4 now is the lead he's got over Jonic Simičić. Lee Morris is actually dropping back now into the clutches of Florian Gaia. This is not good for Morris. He does not want to have to be in a battle at this early stage of the race. He wants to consolidate his advantage and break clear, but he's pushing so hard to get away from Flo Gaia. He's actually kicking up the dirt as he comes through Lesmo 1. Flo Gaia pushing him. Fran Lopez getting a little wayward through the first Lesmo as well. With Fidek, Capit and Baldi still within very close proximity. De Vos has finally dealt with Francic for the moment. Horrell I have to say, Ben Horrell is doing an absolutely cracking job to defend against Alex Cooper. We've been highly critical of Ben Horrell all season long in that he's just not been able to bring that car home to the finish line. But here at Monza, he seems to have found a bit of a resurgence, and he's taking on Alex Cooper, who, let's not forget, before he had his penalty, Alex Cooper was second position on the grid. And now he can't find a way past Ben Horrell. He's doing a great job holding him back.
Well, sorry, what I was saying earlier about the brakes, in the previous lap, Alex was past him, Ben just destroyed him on the brakes. And that's what I mean, if you go on the brakes, you can do it.
That's the thing, he's obviously got the braking, and he always has been a good driver as Ben Horrell. He's always been quite capable. He's just never really found form and being able to get the car into a consistent rhythm until Monza, it seems. And when he hits it, he can be just as good as the likes of...
Tyne and Duval collide with each other in the first chicane. Tyne had Liam Duval nailed there on the inside, but Duval prepared to back out of it, and they ended up colliding. So Tyne ends up dropping behind Duval as a result of that one, and now he's going to have another go into the Variante della Roggia. This time, will he hold on to it? Well, Duval is again not surrendering, and again Tyne is going to be held back, and now Superleague is going to try to get through on the inside. Tyne holds the cover, but that's two little taps from the battle between Liam Duval and Jarl Tyne in the space of two chicanes.
It looked to me going into turn one, Tyne went for the brakes. Duval didn't want to turn into him, but Tyne overshot, and then that's what caused them to both go over the curbs, and then obviously problems after that. But now Tyne's going to go down the inside of Duval here.
That's a big shot, and Tyne is off into the barriers. That is a very big moment, and that is almost certainly both of their races over. Gonna watch that one again. They're side by side. Jarl Tyne is obviously clearly trying to get the move done. He moves across, but unfortunately Duval is still there, and that, I'm afraid to say, is a rookie mistake from Jarl Tyne.
I tend to agree there, yep.
It is not usual we see Jarl make that sort of mistake. That was very rare a mistake for Jarl to make. Very high caliber driver, very capable. It can happen to the best of them, I admit, but it's not the sort of thing you expect Jarl Tyne to do. But that is a rare mistake from the Wartner's driver there, and he's not going to be happy with himself over that.
Well, fair play to Liam Duval, because he managed to get out of danger, and he's managed to slot himself back into 13th in front of Ben Schubenek and Nick Rowland. So he hasn't lost too much. Meanwhile, further up the road, Cooper again tries to get past Ben Horrell, and Horrell just slams the door firmly shut in his face. Forget about it, bucko. And Cooper has to take to the escape road on the inside of the chicane. I have to say, Tom Parker, this is absolutely incredible defence work from Ben Horrell. It's like he's a different racing driver.
Absolutely, and funnily enough, me and Ben had a battle here in Super Cup years ago, and you can't get past him here. He's so good on the brakes, and you'll see it. If Alex, like in turn one before, Alex can get past him, but Ben's so late on the brakes, and that's why he makes his time up. He's always very good at these sort of tracks of heavy braking zones. Sochi last year, he finished 4th for GSR, and he's in 11th place, and like you said, he has been a bit slow to start, but he seems to be, I mean, he's with Vrancic, and Vrancic has been driving really well this year, I think, personally, but he's catching him up, and he's doing a brilliant job so far.
We've got two battles in the top 6. For third, it's Morris versus Gaia. For fifth, it's Lopez versus Fidek. And Fidek is going to have another crack at Fran Lopez.
Pace around the 19th.
Yeah, that is a problem there for Pace there as he spins the car. So he now faces the wrong way. Lopez defends from Fidek. Morris defends from Gaia. But the Lopez-Fidek battle is about to become a three-way scrap because Risto Capit is joining it. Well, Baldi's not far off it.
Yeah, Baldi not far enough. Just to look at the Paisley thing, Bastian was trying to get past Olsen, but he was making that storm extremely wide. There was no room for Bastian whatsoever. Then he just accidentally ran into the back of him and spun himself. So that's how that's happened. And Olsen's actually come into the pits in the meantime to get onto the super softs. So the first of the drivers to jump. Maybe this is the optimum time to switch onto a different tyre compound now. Maybe the ultras are starting to go off.
Well, we're just watching again on the stream. We've just been watching again on the stream the Jarl Tyne and Liam Duval incident. And it is just a very, very basic error from Jarl Tyne, and one we are not used to seeing from him. The Norwegian is an incredibly talented racing driver. He's world class in this category of racing, and he just got it wrong. But then everybody makes mistakes, but it's just very surprising to see someone like Jarl Tyne try a move that's fairly basic if you're battling for position into the Variante Ascari, and just get it so slightly wrong. Now, Morris versus Gaia, stepping up a beat again. Fidek has got past Fran Lopez for 5th, so that is dropping Fran Lopez into the battle for 6th position with Risto Capit. Now, Capit's got a good run out of Parabolica. He should be able to make the draft go and work for him here, but he is a long way back.
Lopez does have DRS as well from Fidok, so it would be a good brave man on the brakes to do that one.
Yeah,
and DeVos has his pit light on.
Oh, hello. Well, he must have turned it off, must have accidentally engaged the pit limiter, but he's going full speed now. I mean, it's something you can't do, just accidentally press the button, you know? But, yeah, obviously he must just be feeling the heat a bit, but DeVos, if he's just put his pit limiter on.
Light, sorry, I meant to say. Oops.
Oh, yeah, it might have been that. He might have done it coming out of one of the corners, or it could have been DRS, or it could have been ARS, it could have been anything. I don't even know whether these cars have ARS. I've forgotten that there isn't so immersive.
Well, maybe that means then that we're starting to get to the pit lane window, because if DeVos is thinking, you know, we're on lap 8, and maybe this is the first round of pit stops, because of course they've got to ditch these faster tyres early, because we did say, you know, it's not going to be too likely that these tyres will last long, but considering we've got the long straight speeds that we've got here at Monza, they are lasting relatively well. But it's now going to be about whether we switch compounds.
Another driver, Simoncic, has got his light on as well. That may be going over a sector line, but unlikely. So we'll see what Simoncic does as he comes into Parabolica.
Well, Rudy Van Buren's coming out of the final turn. He does not pit. What is Janic Simoncic going to do? Is he going to try and jump Van Buren? No, he doesn't. Morris, no. Gaia, no. Fidek, no. Lopez, no. So no major changes in the top 10 in terms of strategy as yet. This is good news.
Yeah, everyone's deciding they can stay out. I'm surprised with it being 30 degrees, the tyres are lasting so long. I mean, Van Buren's done 8 laps on those tyres now. So it might be that we are going to see a 3 or 4 stop race as is the potential here. And that could be
Cooper finally making the move.
Duvall in as well, but Cooper goes for the move. Yes, Alex Cooper does get into 10th place on Francic there. And the Croatian's not going to be happy about that, but the Englishman will be. Number 2 gets past number 67. And Francic now is going to have to try and get that back at some point. But Duvall in as well. So Liam Duvall has gone up to mediums.
Okay, so that's an interesting sign. We'll have to see how Duvall goes on the medium compound.
I imagine this will be a 2 stop from here. Or 1 stop from here from Duvall. He'll be trying to minimise the amount of pit stops.
Second place, Simoncic. He's really struggling with his tyres. Lee Morris is on the DRS.
Morris has got him right back, and now he's going to get the DRS on Simoncic down the outside of Ascari and breaks him, gets him massively done there.
Oh, Morris has run wide. Morris has run wide and just catches it.
Not by much though. He's managed to hold
it. It's Flo Gaia.
Oh no, Janic has got to come in now.
Yeah, he's going to have
it as wide as possible.
Yeah, Simoncic has got 50p pieces on his racing car at the moment as he... He's obviously new to the formula in 2017. He's not used to the tyre wear. Morris has absolutely done him, though, into the variante Ascari. Flo Gaia trying to do the same thing. Simoncic is trying to make the tyres last even longer, but Flo Gaia is going to get him. Inexperience in this formula in 2017 for Simoncic is going to drop him down the order. But the question is, how much time will he lose?
DeVos in as well. First the high profile, as is Cooper, as is Francic. Now seems to be the time then. DeVos comes into the pits, hits the brakes. What's he going to do? He's going to go onto the... He's staying on the Ultras.
That's very surprising. I thought he would make the switch. And Cooper, meanwhile...
Cooper next stage too. Francic on the Super Softs.
What's Cooper doing? Cooper is the important one.
Oh, Gaia off. Second
chase. Oh, Gaia's off. Gaia is off.
Oh, no. Oh, no, that's bad. Well, he's lost the position to Morris then. As a result of that, yeah, Gaia, he lost position to Morris. Then he came into the first chicane and then he just went straight on. He just missed it.
Oh, he so nearly went into the back of Lee Morris. He had to stab on the brakes, come back over the chicane, and obviously lose the place to Morris. So that was very close indeed.
Here comes Cameron on Lopez. He's got a massive speed boost thanks to the DRS. Going to chuck it on the inside of the Spaniard here. And Lopez can't do anything. Cameron goes into 6th. Gets it perfectly exited as well. But look where Baldy is now. This is where it's starting to heat up.
Yeah, Baldy's going to get a similar run on the run down to the Parabolica. He won't get the DRS this time, but he will coming on to the main straight. So this is where he's going to have an opportunity.
Van Buren in from the lead.
Okay, so Rudy Van Buren pits. Now, considering where he is on the racetrack, Capit could make the pit stop on the same lap and not have a problem. Yes, he's going to.
Oh, Fidek did a brilliant there. He tricked Simoncic perfectly, went right with the Serbian, and then just switched to left, said, nope, I'm not pitting. I'm making these tyres last. What a genius move from Fidek.
Excellent. That was absolute masterclass strategy as Rudy Van Buren exits the pits. Now running in 6th position. Risto Capit is going to leave the pits with not having lost too much time at all. Once again, magnificent textbook pit work. And look, Risto Capit is out in front of Janic Simoncic.
Well, that's worked out for Capit. That's worked brilliantly. That's pit stop pit stop tyre change time there. He just, oh no, it was Kasevich missed his pit box.
Oh no.
Missed his pit box, had to reverse into it, and Cabot's got a couple of seconds on the Serbian now.
Well, I don't know if we picked it up, but Jarl Tyen is out of the race after that earlier incident. Clearly too much damage after chucking it into the wall in that incident with Liam Duval. Roland has exited the pits in 19th. So as a result of those pit stops, Lee Morris now leads the race in front of Flo Gaia, but only by 0.6 of a second. Gaia seems to be handling these tyres a little bit better than Lee Morris. Morris is looking a little bit wayward. Gaia may be able to get a run on the way through the Parabolica.
Well, I tell you what, grab your popcorn. It's Gergo Baldi and Fran Lopez again going at it into the Parabolica this time. Baldi gets the break and he gets there on the Spaniard this time. Perfectly executed from the Hungarian.
Morris in.
Fidek does follow this time, as does Baldi, as does Lopez.
Oh, Lopez very nearly goes into the back of Baldi. But isn't that Baldi versus Lopez? Isn't that round 3?
I think it's round 76.
Those two have been battling all season long. Whenever they get near each other, Gergo Baldi and Fran Lopez go to battle. Now Morris
stays in ultras. Fidek stays in ultras.
That's very important. So Fidek is clearly trying to do something a little bit crafty to get one over on Lee Morris. Where are they all going to filter out? Morris in front of Capit and Fidek behind Risto Capit. What an amazing bit of pit work from Vodbull to get Risto Capit out in front of David Fidek.
That's the tyre change time for you. Teams can work on that, and that's what the advantage of doing it is. You get your pit stops done quicker and you jump teams in the pits.
Well, Flo Gaia now leads the race. Rudy Van Buren in second after his pit stop. Jason Musker has yet to pit for Red Archer. He's there in third position in front of Lee Morris. Then it's Risto Capit, David Fidek, Jernej Simičić, Fran Lopez, Bar de Vos, and Alex Cooper. Now, Cooper, his race has just been reignited after that pit stop because he's actually gained an awful lot of time on the drivers in front of him. So he's now right on the bumper of Bart de Vos and has an opportunity to use the DRS to work his way forward.
Yeah, he can really work his way forward now with the DRS King Cooper. I reckon he's going to be in for a very good
one. Gergo Baldi very nearly does exactly the same thing that his teammate Jarl Tyen did, lapping the green stripes. That was almost a carbon copy of the same incident from Jarl Tyen as Florian Gaia makes the move from the pits. And now Jason Muscat surely is going to join him in the pits as through goes Risto Capit. Morris has gone through. Capit's gone through. Flo Gaia in the pits. The question is, where will he get out? Muscat is continuing on. And Flo Gaia exits the pits. Is he going to get out in front of Lee Morris? It's going to be really close.
He's not. Morris has the speed, and he's easy though. Nope, he's going to get out in front. It's Lee Morris, and Gaia's been overtaken. Then great pushing on by Morris then to get that done.
And that means Gaia's on the ultra softs as well.
Yes, Gaia and Fidek, both of the Nordians have gone on the ultra softs, while everybody else has changed compound. Now, that's really interesting. Maybe Nordian feel that this is going to be an incredibly tough battle.
This could be a difficult one for Nordian, indeed. It could be difficult for everyone, to be honest. I mean, Rudy Van Buren 10 seconds ahead of everyone else. But this is not over. He could get the strategy wrong. Anything could happen. Anyone could be quicker. Jernej Simičić is going on just Muscat in the second. Lesmo, he's on the inside, and Muscat runs a bit wide contact, and now Simičić gets a bit squiggly there. His own teammate down the inside of him now. And what's going to happen here is Simičić going to give Lopez a squeeze.
What's the rule? Never, ever take out your teammate. And Jernej Simičić and Fran Lopez almost fell foul of that rule right there. But interestingly, one of the big losers from the pit stops is Gergo Baldi. He's down in 11th position.
Lopez on Muscat. He's going to have the speed done here. I reckon this will be into the Parabolica. Easily done. Yep, Brout breaks the Maltese. And straight through he goes. Simičić is going to be on the draft behind. Is this going to be 2 in 2 corners for Muscat? I think he's keeping to the inside as to pit. And I think, yep, he's going to pit now. So he does lose the position, but he's into the pits.
Fourth place for Fidek and Capit.
Oh, here we go, Fidek as well. Yep, as you rightly say, Tom. Straight through goes Fidek on Capit. No problems, no questions. Nil down the reigning champion. Straight through into fourth. Brilliant move.
That'll do nicely. And David Fidek on the Ultra Softs able to use the tyres to his advantage. Flo Gaia is now right on the bumper of Lee Morris. So those two Nordians are working their way forward. They clearly think that the Ultra Softs are the tyres to be on at this moment as they try and work their way forward to the gentleman in front of them. But Rudy Van Buren has the advantage. 9.4 seconds clear. This is going to be the Rudy Van Buren show all over again. Morris makes a big mistake out of the first Lesmo. And this is an opportunity surely for Flo Gaia to utilise DRS and close him up. He has got DRS, I do believe. So now he's going to try and rein him in down the straight. through the Variante Ascari. He may even get a chance into the Parabolica.
Quite so, perhaps this could be Gaia into second. I mean, David Fidek, the fact he's making those Ultrasofts make as long as Rudy Van Buren made his last, that is something. That's good. That's showing that he's got the tyre wear under control. But his teammate is right within a chance of Inglis and Ocean 2-4.
I'm wondering if Norton, they can stretch their tyres as long, so they stop 2 laps after Rudy. So I wonder if Flo is trying to make those tyres last longer. He's got DRS, Lee won't, so we see what happens in turn 1. But I think Norton are going to try and play the long game here.
In the long run, though, if they're losing time to Van Buren regardless, it's not really going to help them, is it?
Maybe they're aiming for Lee. Maybe they think Rudy's a bit too far ahead, and who knows, Rudy may make a mistake. Unlikely, but you never know. So maybe they're just aiming for second for now. But if they can make their tyres last longer than the Supers can...
Oh, here
check out the battle!
Cooper
versus DeVos having an absolutely magnificent run through the Variante Goodyear as they now run through the Grand Curve down towards the Variante della Roggia. Cooper's holding that inside line. DeVos giving him a lot of pressure and not able to overhaul him. So Cooper now past Bart DeVos finally, but the man behind, Gergo Baldi, is now going to try and close up. And he's really the driver who's come off worse from that first round of pit stops, down in 10th position. Unable to really gain the sort of time that the likes of Lopez managed to. But Cooper in 8th position is important. That gives him a chance to creep back towards the top 6. But yeah, definitely some interesting movements as Bart DeVos closes back up on Alex Cooper. He will have the DRS, of course, but Cooper is a lightning bolt round Monza.
He is. Cooper seems to be in very good form at the moment, at least, and he's having a very good run here now. I'm curious to see what's going to happen with Gaia and Morris here, because there's only half a second in it. Morris is going to be in the real disadvantage here because Gaia's going to have DRS and the draft. He's going to get both now, and the German is just going to accelerate, doing it in 45,
here we go.
doing it 50 kilometers an hour down the outside of turn 1. He's got to get the turn in right here, and he's not going to get that because Morris holds onto it like his life depends on it.
It's too high risk this early in the race to throw it round the outside because you know that with a hard charger racer like Lee Morris, he's never going to give you enough room to get round the corner on the outside.
Again, though, how about the chicane? He's going down the outside of that, and this is the potential for Gaia. Hits the brakes later than Morris this time, but again, he hugs the inside like a pillow at night, and he is not letting go with it without a right scrap for second place.
Cooper missed turn 1, sorry.
He did indeed, yes. Cooper missed first corner, so he's managed to get himself back up to speed again. But you're absolutely right. This is Flo Gaia's opportunity now. He's just forcing Lee Morris to make those little errors. And now he's got another opportunity down to the Variante Ascari. Surely Morris is not going to send him to the inside line. Oh, I think Gaia's going to get him. Gaia's going to get him. Nice move. Flo Gaia gets the move done on Lee Morris, and there's nothing Lee can do about it. He's cannon fodder.
But now, you look at this, right? Main straight, he's going to get DRS if he can save in a second.
Yeah, but he went wide there. He's got to stay within that magic second, and he's within about half a moment. So Lee Morris really the one who made a mistake there by going wide. That's going to it's going to have difficulty getting the car back up to speed, so to speak. It's going to be touch and go. I don't think he's going to get back into turn 1.
I don't think he is, and I think David Fidek is going to spend the next lap closing up on him. Morris may fall out of the top 3 here. It's going to take him a lap and a half or so for it to happen. But David Fidek on faster tyres, don't forget, than Lee Morris. Okay, they're wearing out faster, but they will be considerably faster per lap than Morris. He seems to have followed the Rudy Van Buren route, Lee Morris, but the problem is Rudy Van Buren's in a Vodbull, and Lee Morris is not. So he doesn't have that same ability to be able to make the car run out in front.
Yeah, the Madcape is not nearly as well developed as the Budbull, but the fact Morris has been getting these positions is tantamount. It's just a proof of his success as a sim racer. You know he's that good. But Van Buren ultimately has the better package, and at Monza that can be crucial. Can really
if the flow goes wide, I was about to say.
Oh, yeah, Gaia went a bit wide there. It's opened him right up to Morris. Look how much he's gaining on him just in this section alone. Well, this is an amazing potential opportunity for Morris. If Gaia's just gone wide there, he's going to cut down the inside of each of the curbs here, just going to clip them as much as he's humanly possible. Doesn't go wide this time, crucially, and he's going to have a slightly better run than he did last lap.
So Lee Morris may get an opportunity to bounce back on Flo Gaia, but it's going to be tough because he knows that he's on slower tyres than the men in front of him. They are going to make him work for this, but Flo Gaia running well in second position. David Fidek in 4th place, trying to chase down Lee Morris. Risto Capit is joining the party very gradually there in 5th position in front of the two Adonis cars of Lopez and Simoncic. Alex Cooper has dropped Gergo Baldi now in 8th and 9th.
De Vries is slow on pit exit there. He's really quite slow, 50 kilometers an hour, and he's pulled off to the grass. I don't know what's happened for the Dutchman there, but he exited the pits. And,
I think he's just trying to let everyone pass. It's a bit awkward round here when you've got so many cars.
Let them through there. Fair enough, but that's not the ideal place to do it, if I'm brutally honest.
That's one of the most bizarre methods of getting out of the way of the fast traffic I've ever seen.
That's something 2013 me would do.
Yeah, his teammate Dan Lovett has already retired from the race. Yeah. Tobias Olsen is back in the pits. Meanwhile, Rudy Van Buren, clean as a whistle, out in front, just looking like Rudy Van Buren in the Rudy Van Buren show. Right out in front, no errors at the moment, absolutely bolted to the racetrack. Flo Gaia trying to step away from Lee Morris, and the man closing in is David Fidek. He's got him on the run.
He has got him on the run, yeah. I mean, just to go back to the De Vries thing, I mean, if he finds it the easiest way to do it, then so be it. I wouldn't have done it myself. But Garrett, each has their own method, and it is a shame that his teammate Dan, I've got virtual reality, I absolutely love it, is out. But, you know, yeah, it is, you know, it's a shame to see him out. But, you know, Garrett, each to their own. It works for you, so I'm not going to complain.
So George Gibbs Jr. is chatting about him joining iRacing very soon and how he can't wait for it. Well, this is not a bad training for that, and certainly not the bad choice to go motor racing in. The GPVWC, it is the Formula 1 of sim racing, of course, with 3 championships through the week. Of course, we have the Formula Challenge contest on the Tuesday, which is akin to GP3. Then Super Cup on the Wednesday, which is the equivalent of Formula 2. And then we have the Super League, which is our Formula 1, our little baby. And it's bringing up some pretty incredible battles through the season. Now, Bart de Vos has just pitted. Now, he has actually gone a bit earlier than I thought he would do. I wonder if he's trying to jump the guys in front who will be wearing their tyres pretty quickly. We're on lap 19, and de Vos has been on those tyres, what, 10 laps? So I would suspect he's actually going to try and jump the likes of the Coopers, the Baldis, and maybe even the Jernich Simonciches of this race.
Perhaps so. I've just seen Gerrit de Vries, our favourite Dutchman, has just actually retired from the race, which is a shame, unfortunately, after the, you know, funny gift there. But yeah. No
points for Green Stripes again. That's a shame.
It does look like they're on the way to relegation this season, unfortunately.
It's a disaster. They are the Minardi of Super League in 2017, and we absolutely love them, but this is really not turning into their season.
Fidek, yes, Fidek is quite close to Morris. Well spotted, Tom Parker. That is a very close run contest at the moment. There's a couple of times in between Morris and Fidek. And now, number 1 has a chance to overtake number 62. Morris versus Fidek. 2 of the best in the business going to go at it in a Monza. Fidek's going to get the DRS. He's going to have the slipstream. He's going to have to try and chuck it to the inside. Morris doesn't offer a single defence for the reigning champion. And it's as easy as cutting butter with a hot knife. Fidek onto the podium.
Well, that's the thing. He can't really afford to risk this, Lee Morris. He can't afford to throw too much weight into this battle when Fidek is on a different compound of tyre. Morris kind of has to let him go there because that would compromise his own race strategy. But what he could do now is sit behind David Fidek and follow him. That will ease the pressure on his tyres a little bit. That will save a little bit of fuel. And Tom, any little advantage you can gain in terms of preserving the tyre life, that could be the difference between 2nd and 3rd.
Absolutely. And that is actually why I've just been checking Flo's times compared to Rudy. Flo is gaining on Rudy. Obviously, it's a different compound, but we've seen Flo can make the tyres last. I don't think this is over yet. I don't think Rudy has this. Always he gets a bit squiggly out of Marianto and Scary. Flo is gaining on Rudy. So, I mean, yes, okay, Rudy has quick tyres. He's pretty slow ones out of the way, but if Flo can make these tyres last, who knows what a race on.
But I tell you what, if Flo Gaia only needs one stint on the slower tyres and he can make the faster tyres run for the rest of this race with a minimal quantity of pit stops, I think you're absolutely right, Tom. I think Flo Gaia genuinely does have a chance to win this one, and I would not be surprised if the Vodball guys are scratching their heads a little bit. Nick Rowland is out yet again. Nick Rowland retires from the race. Now, how did he do it?
Oh, it was just a straight, he just locked it up going into the first chicane. Back's locked up. Left, right, back steps out into the wall and probably damaged done as Cooper comes into the pit. But it is a shame to have Roland out yet again.
Well, at this point in the season, that is critical, and you have to wonder how safe Nick Rowland's seat is at the Mad Cape team. He's only really had one decent run all season long, and that is Spa. The rest of it has been pretty lackadaisical, if I'm using a polite term. But yet again, Nick Rowland finds himself on the sidelines. That is a very big disappointment for the Mad Cape team. And once again, it means that there's a one-man bandwagon at Mad Cape, and that is Lee Morris. currently hanging on to the back of David Fidek. Risto Capit 5th, but look how close to Capit Lopez and Simičić are. They are actually giving him a proper run for his money.
I was about to say, yeah, the Adonis have really, they seem to have got these super softs working, and Risto seems to be struggling with them quite a lot. He's about a second a lap slower than Rudy at the moment, so Risto seems to be struggling with these harder compound tyres. He might be a bit more quicker on the upshores, but we'll see what happens as we go on. Fran Lopez, I've never ceased to amaze watching Fran. The way he turns the wheel is quite unique, but it works, and he's definitely gaining.
I tell you what.
You're not wrong. I mean, I'm just watching into this. It's very sudden and abrupt, these movements, isn't it? He's very aggressive with that wheel. He's sawing away like mad. Must not do much for tyre life, but it's working for him.
It's absolutely sensational watching the Adonises get onto the tail of Risto Capit. This is no slouch we're talking about here. This is the man, Risto Capit, who cleaned up at Spa last time. Finally got his first win in the GPVWC Super League after an entire season of oh! Janic Simičić! My goodness me, that was more Colin McRae than it was Mika Hakkinen. Absolutely incredible through the first chicane. The back end stepped around. He got the opposite lock on beautifully. I'm just watching that again on slow-mo. He just manages to get the tyres working for him at exactly the right moment. He knows he's kicked the back end out, but he just responds beautifully. Plenty of opposite lock. Throws it in the other way. Turns into the slide. That is the best save you're ever going to see in a single-seater racing car out Monza.
Well, Janic Simičić, you get the KTTC award for that. Drift kick indeed. He's really getting his other Japanese on here in Italy. That was a sensational save from the Serbian.
Right, hang on a second, because Lee Morris is now right on the tail again of David Fidek. He seems to have made up a little bit of ground on him, and it looks as though those tyres are coming back.
Maybe or it could be Fidek's going off. And I've just been reminded, obviously, Nords have the best car now. So
yeah, they do have the best car. And to be fair as well, sorry to interrupt you, Tom, of course, but Fidek's tyres, this is about pit stop time for Fidek, to be honest with you. So it makes sense that Morris would be catching.
Guys staying out, Fidek staying out, and Morris is now giving him a little bit of a challenge. Lee Morris obviously using the Guinness principle here. Good things come to those who wait as he goes down to the first corner, reading in David Fidek once again, and Fidek overshoots! Those tyres have definitely gone as Gergo Baldi pits. Fidek's going to run wide. Morris is going to get the place back. Thanks, buddy. I told you my way was the best way.
Well, perhaps so. Lee Morris will be taking, but Fidek will just be focusing on getting him back now and getting on the next set of Ultras and getting going. As, yeah, you're right, Baldi does come in, goes on to the Ultras, so maybe taking a page out of Fidek's book there. And that, of course, is the book on how to become a world champion, because he did it last year, but... yeah, Lopez and Cabot are close as well, and that is an interesting one. Bob versus Adonis. Lots of interesting battles brewing in this race, and we're only 42% of the way through.
I tell you what, it's interesting because several of the teams have obviously looked at the Nordsian strategy and gone, actually, these tyres will last pretty well. So it's not inconceivable to make them last further. So they are actually going to give it a proper go. And drivers like Gergo Baldi and Alex Cooper in particular can really make that work for them. Baldi rejoins. Where is he in terms of track position? He's got clean air, and he's rejoined just in front of Jeff Fournier. Now, if he can just knuckle down and get these tyres warm and get a good couple of laps in there as Bastian Pays that overshoots and loses a couple of places on the road to Liam Duval and David Francic, if Baldi can pick up the pace here, he may be able to jump Cooper. Now, into the pits comes David Fidek, and about time too.
It's not surprised at all. I thought he was going to come in after that. Had to, even if it's because the tyres were flat spotted, and I assume it'll be more Ultras for the #1 driver. Let's see exactly what he does as he comes into the pits. He is going for the Ultras. Yep, no surprises there.
Lopez in as well. So Lopez comes in for Adonis, and that releases Flo Gaia and Lee Morris on their own. Risto Capit now in 4th position, trying to get away from Janic Simičić, and still relatively unable to do so. Fidek and Lopez rejoin in 6th and 7th. So Jason Muscat, fair play to the Maltese. Jason Muscat is making those tyres last a decent length of time. And he's kind of doing a bit of a Thomas Hinz impression here.
Perhaps so. I mean, Jason Muscat, very talented in Super Cup, of course, led the championship for quite a while, and he's always been a good driver. We've never seen him that much in Super League, but, you know, he's shown his stuff here, really proving why he would be deserving if he ever wanted to take it of a full-time seat.
Ah, right. Rudy has got his pit light on, so has Flo.
Yeah,
so
this
has
could be
Flo.
interesting. Let's see what happens here.
And if Rudy's got his pit light on, almost certainly Oh, Lee has as well, so I would not be surprised if... I was just going to say, if Rudy Van Buren's got his pit light on, you can bet your bottom dollar that Risto Capet has as well, and they're going to double pit them. Right, here we go. Rudy in. Flo Gaia in. Lee Morris in. And Risto Capet in. Now, is that going to be Jonas Simičić in the lead? Yes, it is. So Simičić is going to take the lead here. Rudy Van Buren.
I think Fidog's going to jump them.
Oh, that would be good if he has.
I don't think he'll jump Rudy, but I think he'll get the other two.
Yeah, he might well jump Capet here.
Yeah, he won't jump Van Buren, but he might jump everyone else.
Let's see, Fidog's got the straight line speed. Gaia's leaving the pit in front of Lee Morris. That's critical. Lee Morris has had a bad pit stop. And look, Fidog has got through. You're absolutely right. Nordsian have completely cleaned up on Lee Morris.
Well, clean up on aisle 4. That is position 4 today with Fidog. And look at this, Lopez now challenging Morris as well. This is going to be one worth of popcorn. These two, of all people.
Well, Fran Lopez is no fraidy cat. If he can take on Gergo Baldi and put up a good fight, he could take on Lee Morris. Morris goes out wide. Lopez is going to chuck it to... What? Chomps across. I'm not letting you through. Lopez sticks on the inside line. Morris cuts back on the outside. Brilliant battling from both of them.
I said this would be the battle, wouldn't it? Morris and Lopez, neither of these two wants to give quality to each other. They're both as aggressive as each other, both as quick as each other. And the kicker is Morris and Lopez aren't afraid of anyone.
Right, Morris is going to have to defend like crazy here because Fran Lopez is on relatively fresh tyres as well, and he will not give second best to Lee Morris if he gets an opportunity. And he is the kind of driver who will throw it up the inside. If Morris is going to try and phase him out, Lopez's attitude will be, no, I'm going for it.
Fran is being so clever. Fran's waiting for DRS. He's been such a clever driver on this lap. He's waiting now, and he's going to get it. You watch.
Lopez, right? Lopez, he is a fast driver, but he's also intelligent. He knows that he's stuff in the car. Look at this, straight down the inside. Goes left for dramatic effect. Lopez through. What a smart young lad he is.
Goodbye, Vienna. And he's going to brake very nicely indeed, very smartly into the chicane. Morris nearly goes in. But Lopez is in P4. Thank you and good night.
Simičić has a penalty drive-through.
Oh, no! Jernej Simičić.
He stops his pit lane.
Yeah, sped in the pit lane, so Simicic's charge up at the front end of the field is over. You may as well let Cooper get through because it is no good. He will not be running in the top 6 for much longer. That is a disaster for Jernej Simičić. But you have to say, no matter how good a driver you are, if you're out of rhythm and you haven't done this for a while, it is going to be difficult to get back into the flow.
Yeah, it can be difficult sometimes to get into the flow, and Jernej is going to try and just serve that penalty and get on with it now. It's not going to help him, of course. And, well, I can't keep my eyes off Morris and Lopez. Morris is just still at so much.
They're still at it, these two. And Lopez, again, trying to drop Lee Morris, who this time, Morris makes a big mistake. And any chance he had of picking up DRS and getting him into turn 1 is now gone. Interesting, isn't it? That if you put Morris and Lopez in a straight fight, we haven't seen it too much this year. But here at Monza, Lopez seems to be the one who can come off better than Morris.
Yeah, it just seems to be that Lopez is coming off better here at the moment. Morris is going to get DRS, I believe. But at this rate, it's not going to be very effective. He's not even going to get DRS when he is going to get it. He's just a bit late and not going to be very effective at this point in time. He's going to have to do the hard work all over again now.
So Capet P6, Simičić 7th, Cooper is 8th, De Vos is 9th, and his teammate Županek is in the top 10. So Baldi has actually lost out big time in that last round of pit stops. I thought he was actually going to gain an advantage. But on the Ultrasofts, he's down there in 11th position in front of Jeff Fournier. Muscat pitted as well in 13th. He now runs from Francic, Hurrell, Olsen, Liam Duval, and Bastian Paisler.
I have an interesting thing I've just noticed. Look how close the two Nordstjens are. They are right close to each other. Now, knowing Florian Geyer and David Feideck, I wouldn't be half surprised if they started helping each other to catch Van Buren here. Yeah,
well, look at the gap between Van Buren and Geyer. It's come down to 9 seconds. So Geyer is actually chipping away at Rudy Van Buren's advantage. They are making these Ultrasofts work. And if they can do that enough times in the race, they may just be able to put Rudy Van Buren under some pressure. We're halfway home at the end of this lap. Rudy Van Buren comes through to complete lap 27. But Flo Geyer and David Feideck have not given up on the win yet.
This is the key stint now, because where Flo and Rudy came in at the same lap, this is where we'll see if Nordin can make the tyres last. He did lose 2 tenths to Rudy that lap with Flo, but who knows? Only 9 seconds in it.
Remember, they're on different compounds as well. Gaia still opting for the ultra softs, whereas Van Buren is on the supers still. So, you know, there is a slight advantage in that, but he's not chipping out. He's chipping away. He's not getting much per lap.
Well, very true, but the thing is, Rudy Van Buren knows of late they can be beaten. Spa was an absolute nightmare by his standards, and they always say, don't they, you're only as good as your last race. Rudy will want to win this race more than any race he's won this season. You win this one, he's pretty much won the championship on a silver platter, but he knows that if anybody's going to beat him today, it's going to be Nordin and Flo Gaia and David Fider giving him some pressure. So this is his nightmare scenario. He doesn't want these two hot on his heels, and that's exactly what they're doing. But then they only need, if they can keep this running through the rest of the race, they only need to go onto the slower compounds once. They only need to do it for one stint. If they can get close enough to Rudy Van Buren to put him under pressure, make him do all the hard work, they've still got a chance to win.
Over 27 laps, they've got to get 9 seconds, though. That's the thing. And that equates at about 0.3 of a second a lap, I believe.
It's a big ask.
It's a very big ask.
They're not gaining that at the moment.
No, it is a big ask, but we have seen Rudy Van Buren make mistakes this season. It's never been all his own way. He's made good work of the situations he's been presented with. Before Spa, he had never finished a race lower than second. So Rudy Van Buren is very much the man who's cleaning up this year. But now, I'm just watching Lopez and Morris again. Morris just popping out to let Fran Lopez know, you haven't got this 1-1 yet. I'm still going for you.
Risto misses the first chicane in battle with Simoncic.
Oh, that's a big problem for Risto. Now, Jernaj Simoncic, I reckon, has he not taken his penalty yet? He hasn't.
No.
This has got to be his last lap to do so, surely.
Yeah, I think he'll calculated it, so he comes in at the last possible moment.
So, Fran Lopez and Lee Morris up the road. Oh, Morris went off. Morris went off there into the chicane. I don't want to watch that one back. So, Morris is chasing down Lopez. Got very close to him. Oh, no, it was Lopez who went off. Apologies. It was Fran Lopez who went off. Now, almost certainly, Madcape are going to throw in a protest there to Fran Lopez. He's gained an advantage by overshooting the chicane. He's going to have that argument because Lopez did get out onto the circuit a good 4 or 5 car lengths further ahead of Morris than where he was. So that's going to annoy Lee Morris if he doesn't immediately give him the place back. Whether he deserves to give it back or not, that's going to get in Lee Morris's head.
Well, he was 75% throttle on the off there, so I think he was pretty much trying to keep the speed up, you know?
Yeah, I think he's okay. I think Lopez will get away with that one, but Morris is going to be driving angry. He will want to get an opportunity, and he's right underneath him. He'll have DRS this time. Lopez, you better be on your best A-game defense because now Morris is going to throw it up the inside. They're going to run side by side into the chicane, and Morris gets through. Lopez does not even try to take him back on, but he's doing exactly what you said before, Tom. He's just sitting behind him. He's going to let Morris do all the work for a lap.
Absolutely, and I think Fran's actually showing his maturity in this race. He's just going to stick behind him, wait until after Ascari, stick with him through Parabolica and get the DRS and make the move again. I think, just going back to the Nords and the tyres and that, I think they're more concerned about covering Lee and Fran off. Lee and Fran have used those harder tyres. Nords haven't yet. If Nords are slower on them, they've got to worry about Lee and Fran and possibly maybe Risto, maybe not so much Risto, but got to worry about Fran and Lee catching him up. So maybe they're just trying to cover him off at the moment. They've got a good gap, but who knows what can happen in one stint.
Yeah, I am absolutely baffled by the lack of pace Risto Capet has in this motor race. I genuinely thought Risto would be faster in this race than he is, but he just doesn't seem to be that same driver that we're used to him being in the Vodball. I mean, I know he's the number 2 to Rudy Van Buren by default this year, but even here at Monza, he just doesn't seem to have any outright pace at all, and he's literally just pounding around. I mean, the best it looks like he's going to get out of this race at the moment is probably P6. Now, Simoncic has not pitted for his penalty, but of course, now he's going to pit. Here we go. So he's left it, as you said, Josh, the last possible minute. Simoncic comes in, and unfortunately, this is any chance he had of being on the podium today officially over.
Yeah, it really is pretty much. That's done it for Simoncic. He's got to come in to say he stopped going away. I think he's decided to take a pit stop.
Well,
yes. No, it's a stop go area.
He went up on the jacks. I don't know he can do both at the same time.
I'm not sure you can, so that's a problem there. Off he
goes.
goes.
Down to, so 11th place.
Well, it could
12, yeah.
Could be 12 because here comes Ben Horrell. So Ben Horrell's going to go through. And it looks to me as though even Bart de Vos could get through if Simoncic doesn't get himself sorted.
Don't think he will.
Bart de Vos is on new tyres as well. I think he's just pitting.
In the long game, he might get through them, but immediately at least not. And Simoncic will hold 12 for now at least.
Well, Flo Geyer is now 9.4 seconds away from Rudy Van Buren. So while he's matching him for speed, crucially, he is not taking any seconds out of that lead. So Nordtjen, they've put up a brave fight to the Vodball driver, Rudy Van Buren. They just don't have what it takes, I think, in terms of pure pace to beat him. This, as you said, Tom, was the critical stint. This would have given us an indication as to whether they can actually take the fight to them. But in clear air, when they're on their own, they don't have any pressure. They are equal to the pace on faster compounds, but crucially, not faster.
Absolutely. I mean, maybe they're saving tyres to extend the stint life. Who knows? Obviously, they'll be able to tell us after the race, but I think they're racing for second and third rather than first and second today.
Right, Simoncic has got past Ben Horrell on this lap, and that has put Horrell into the path of Bart de Vos. Cooper now pits, so too does Baldi. They are 7th and 8th. Jubanek in as well. Here comes de Vos throwing it up the inside. He thinks better of it on Ben Horrell. He decides to wait until he's got DRS, and he really will have DRS this time, or is Horrell going to make a pit stop? Yes, he does. So that battle extinguishes for the moment. But now we've got Morris and Fran Lopez again. Lopez is not too far away from Lee Morris, but it almost seems as if maybe he's pushed those tyres a little bit too hard. On the next stint, he might be even quicker. Whoops, Fran, keep it on the black stuff.
Kind of important.
Yeah.
I was about to say that's where the traction is, Fran, unless you want to go rallycross racing.
I'm not sure how successful single-seaters would be in the world of rallycross. I think Francesco...
Give them the right suspension and tyres, they'll be fine.
Well, cars too. Francesco Bernoulli, come on. He was pretty good in the dirt, considering. Anyway, I've been hanging around my kids too long. Anyway, Fidek, 3rd position. Still a good 2.5 seconds up the road from Lee Morris. Make that 3 seconds now. We should be seeing the next raft of pit stops for the Nordtjens within a lap or so by my mathematics. Now, they've obviously got to make one stint at least on the slightly slower compound. If I'm Nordtjen, Tom, I would not be too surprised if the next stint is the stint they try to do that and then finish the race on the ultras.
I think you're right, because I think you want to be a quick tyre at the end. And Fidek, I think his tyres are starting to go. He's dropped off Guy. He's got a 4-second gap to his teammate. Lee is catching up. Lee is now 3.5 seconds behind. He's just gained half a second that lap. I think Fidek will be in for a pit stop this soon.
Yeah, and Lopez is not too far away from Lee Morris, so those two still chasing. Risto Capit, he's looking, I hate to say it, decidedly average for a man who's just broken his duck in the world of Super League. He dominated last time. No, not doing it. Fournier versus Baldi to the first chicane, and what a move that is from Fournier. If he can just hold it round the outside, goes Gergo Baldi and gets him back again.
Interestingly, on softs.
Yeah, I was about to say the kicker is on softs as well. So Fournier's just lost out to someone on a hard compound. And Fournier's on the ultras of all tyres.
Well, here he goes again. He's not going to back down. Here he goes on the inside of the Della Roggia. To it, Jeff. Commit, because that would have been an easy pass on Gergo Baldi, but he just got a little bit too tentative into the braking zone. I don't think Baldi would have fought for that if you'd have thrown it up to the inside line.
Perhaps not. I mean, the fact he's doing...
Oh, Supernex out.
Supernex out. We have lost him from the race. I just came into the pits and then he came out of the pits and...
Had a penalty.
Oh, penalty, and he just decided not to take it and retire.
Yeah, I suppose when you're fighting for a decent position and you have lost the chance, he's just been lapped by Rudy Van Buren as he leaves the pits. He obviously decided, you know what, we're already in a difficult position. A penalty is not going to help us at all. It's game over. I've had enough. And interestingly...
Probably just decided to save the engine for future races, maybe.
That's very true. And also, of course, another driver whose race may be coming to an end very shortly, Tobias Olsen. He's really struggling down there at 17th, and he's gone a lap down on Van Buren.
Because Monza's a very engine-heavy track as well, so you might just want to save the engine, because obviously a lot of teams will put fresh units in for Monza.
Well spotted.
Oh, Fidek off! He's starting off in Lesmo too. He did put his pit light on, he took it off again, but he looks like he's put it on. Lee Morris gaining in. It looks like there's a little nasty bump in Lesmo too. If you hit that, boy, do you not want to spin off.
Oh, that was an impact.
Oh, yes, he hit the wall very hard. Now, that could be a big problem.
I don't see any damage, though. I think he's fine.
Yeah, he's still steering straight, so looking to But he's going to be in this lap.
Nothing concerning.
Yeah, he's definitely going to be in this lap. The tyres will have absolutely no grip at all. Now, is there enough space between them? I was just going to say, is there enough space between them that they could double stint it? But Fidek is going to pit this lap. Yes, he does. Gaia continues on.
Fran follows it. This is clever by Fran. He's going to try and jump Lee.
Oh,
This will be interesting to see what Fran does now. If he goes onto the Ultras, he will try to use this to get a massive gap ahead of Lee so he can try and jump him.
Well,
Yeah,
you know what the saying goes, fool me once, well, I'll take that. Fool me twice, I'm quite annoyed. And maybe Morris will be annoyed.
Fran's on softs.
Oh, maybe he's really trying to jump him here.
Whoa, careful, Fran. Exit the pit lane in a straight line, for goodness sake, as Fran Lopez gets out onto the circuit behind David Fidek and in front of Alex Cooper. Janic Simičić is in 8th position as a result of all of that. So, Gergo Baldi, his pit stop drops him to 10th behind Bart de Vos. We'll keep an eye on Rudy van Buren. Let's see how things are working out for him in the lead.
This is smooth. I think he's gaining time on Guy now. I think Guy's tyres are starting to give up the ghost. So, give it a couple of laps, I think we'll see flowing, but Rudy looking pretty comfortable.
And to be fair, the slowest way is once again the fastest way. Rudy van Buren, if you were to compare him, I have to say, I've been thinking about this all season long. Rudy van Buren reminds me of the sim racing equivalent of Alain Prost. He's not exactly spectacular. He's a little bit dull to watch at the front of races, but he's smooth. Not necessarily the fastest way of going about it, but he's just metronomic. He's very much Alain Prostish, is Rudy van Buren. He just knows how to go out, drive the wheels out of the car as much as he needs to, but not further over the limit. He doesn't make too many mistakes. He just gets on with the job.
I'll tell you this, if Van Buren is Alain Prost, then Lee Morris is Juan Pablo Montoya.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm glad you made that comparison.
He wouldn't mind me making it.
No, I think
Is
you're
that
all right
what?
with that.
Well, Rudy being Montoya. I really don't like Montoya.
No,
Oh,
Morris is Montoya.
Oh, yeah, Morris would love that, yeah.
I can sense him being very happy with that comparison. Meanwhile, Flo Gaia, 10.6 is now the deficit to Rudy van Buren. So he's been losing about a second and a half total in the last sort of 5 laps. So again, the oddball strategy, it's come to them slowly, but it is the right way to go. And they seem to have made light work of things as a result. Capit is in 4th position, but David Fidek has just pitted, as too has Fran Lopez. So Risto Capit will obviously drop to 6th position when he makes his pit stop. The question is, when is that going to happen? Rudy van Buren down the back straight, up towards the Parabolica, 10.8 ahead of Flo Gaia, who is another 7 ahead of Lee Morris. That's how much he's been making up compared to Lee Morris. Risto Capit in 4th place. Fidek and Lopez are on fresh tyres, and they're actually gaining the benefit from them. Look at Lopez!
Well, so this is the key lap, because Fran's on his first hot lap now. I'll be interesting to see him compared to Lee. Lee's not coming in, he hasn't got his pit light on. Neither is Flo or Rudy, so we'll see what Lee does as he crosses the line in a few seconds. I'm guessing maybe that's mid-27. Now, Fran is the fact that Fran's catching Fidek, who's on softer tyres, is pretty concerning for everyone involved.
Yeah, it really is. And to be fair, neither Van Buren, Gaia, Morris or Capit have pitted yet. What do they know that we don't?
Morris has done a 27.3. Fran is coming over the line now. It's going to be quicker. It's a 26.0, so he's getting a second lap.
Well,
Plus, will Fran be trying to go to the end? Unlikely.
Well,
you never know.
Well, he may have one more pit stop, but he may be just going like stink on the soft tyres because he'll have grip for longer. But fair play to Fran Lopez. And of course, this is actually working out for him because he's been spending some time in the World's Fastest Gamer, which is a GT contest where tyres are actually very much at a critical. That's where you can gain an advantage on everybody else.
I think actually Tom Parker might not be far off with this idea of Fran going to the end because he's only got 17 laps to do on those softs.
And in the test, I did 22 laps on softs.
Well, that is possible then. And if he's
I'm not saying they were quick laps, I'm just saying they were laps, but you know.
If he's gaining a second a lap, that's going to be about 17 seconds. Adding 10 for pit stop, he's going to be right up there with the likes of Capit at the end of this race.
And I think that's why Lee Morris hasn't pitted yet. He hasn't pitted because he expected Fran Lopez to go onto faster compound. Guy's in. Morris is staying out. Look, Morris thinks, well, okay, I'll try and stretch these tyres out a little bit longer. He's trying to go to the end. I'm going to go onto the softs as well, and I'm going to try and beat him.
Ultras and floor, as we predicted earlier, getting them out of the way now.
I think Rudy and Lee are trying to stretch this stint so they can go onto super softs again. That's my prediction.
Okay.
Because they've used the ultras. They wouldn't need to use the softs. I think so. We're saying what super softs will last 14 laps ish. They've got 16 to go. I reckon they'll be going to the supers.
Well, if Lopez has gone on to softs, maybe Morris is going to try and counteract that by... I think he has to accept the fact that I think the Nordians might have got him nailed here in terms of pure pace. So, well, there's a chance he could jump them, but still a minute one. Now, Fran Lopez going to softs, he will not have to pit again. So I wonder if Lee Morris is now going to think, well, if I can stretch these tyres out and then go onto the softs, my softs will be fresher than Fran's at the end, so I'll get him.
Rudy's going to come in this lap. He's had his pit light on all lap. Lee, interestingly, hasn't. He is a bit behind, so we'll see. Rudy in.
As we see, yep, he's coming in as we expect there, and, well, crucial going to see what tyres he uses here. I imagine he'll be trying to keep on these tyres as well, having already used the, having already stayed on the ultras. He'll be trying to, you know, stay on the supers if he can. He won't want to go back or do 2 more stops. He comes into the pits now when he is indeed staying on the supers.
So I think Lee will be stretching this out to go on supers again, so he'll have a quicker tyre. It's brave, but it's probably the only chance he's got to try and beat Fran, who's now got to jump on him. He's ahead of him on track when you get the pit stops through. His only chance is to stay on a quicker tyre, have a go towards the end.
Well, Morris takes the lead for the moment. Rudy Van Buren rejoins behind him on the road. Flo Gaia gets out onto the circuit, down the straight into the chicane ahead of David Fidek. Fran Lopez is in 5th place. Cooper now 6th. Risto Capit has had a nightmare pit stop. He now rejoins behind Jernej Simoncic.
Well, that is a nightmare. That is really, really bad for him. And, well, I'll tell you, I did the whole Lee Morris is comparison to one problem tyre. Matthew Allen saying in the comments he actually used the race for the helmet design based on Montoya's. So there you go, further comparison. Yep. And we got Hawkeye Racing in the chat as well, saying great to see Tom Parker back in the booth. I have to agree on that one.
Right.
Love you, Rick.
Right, so we've got Morris leading, 1.8 ahead of Rudy Van Buren. Rudy Van Buren has pitted. Morris is yet to. But it's going to be critical to figure out what tyre Morris is going to go on.
Well, ultimately, now he's going into the pits this lap, I think.
And ultimately, Morris has only got one of 2 alternatives. Either he goes onto the super softs to really make mincemeat of Fran Lopez in this stint, or he does exactly what Fran Lopez has just done, gone onto the softs, and he will, like Fran Lopez might be doing, trying to stretch it to the end of the race, banking on the fact that he'll have fresher tyres to the end than Fran Lopez. Into the pits comes Morris. Let's see what he does.
It's going to be a crucial one for Lee Morris, that much is for certain, and I'm going to be very intrigued to see what he does. We're going to find out straight away as he comes into the pits. He is staying on the supers.
Good call, Tom Parker.
He'll make his last to the end. It's going to be about 7/10 between the compounds. So how far is he going to be behind? He's not that far behind. He's not that far behind.
Well, that is going to be an interesting run then, as he now rejoins behind Alex Cooper, in fact.
This is going to be a problem.
And Simoncic. Well, Morris. Simoncic has run off into the chicane. This is a nightmare for Lee Morris. He cannot afford to get held up too much by Simoncic. His race could be over.
Not going to be good if he does get held up. Like Simoncic is going to want to try and keep that 6th. Morris is going to want to go to the end. Oh, he swings left and right there. Trying to put Morris off. Contact. That was so close between the 2 of them. Almost contact, but not quite. That's how desperate Morris wants to get through, though. He doesn't want to give this up. Now he's going to look on the outside of Lesmo 1. Down the inside of Lesmo 2. He's all over the shot. Simoncic.
Simoncic slides across on Lee Morris and nerfs him out wide.
He just says, no way, Jose, you're not getting through, sonny boy. And Lee Morris will be fuming.
Well,
to
you
the
can
inside,
bet.
he goes into Ascari, and this time the Mad Cave driver gets it done.
Yeah, Lee Morris is going to be hopping mad at Jernej Simoncic for that. Oh, has he run wide?
No,
he's disconnected.
No, he's...
Oh, no! Lee Morris is out. Lee Morris is disconnected.
He disconnected from World's Fastest Gamer, so...
Oh! Lee Morris is out. Well, that changes everything.
He must have been so annoyed he broke his internet.
Well, if he hasn't now, if he hadn't then, he certainly will have now, as Risto Capit gets Jernej Simoncic. Yep, Morris is out. That is a disaster.
That has robbed us of a great strategy call.
Simoncic on Capit now. We're missing this on the inside into turn 1 as well. Simoncic from nowhere barrels down the inside, gets it stopped somehow when the Adonis hit the 6th again.
You can see the tyre wear on Simoncic's tyres. Obviously, he's a bit out of sync at the moment with the pit with the stop go. So I'm not sure if he's there on pure pace, but Risto's definitely going to give it a go.
What a shame. What a shame we lost that battle with Lee Morris, because I really was fascinated to see where he was going to finish up in that one. That was an absolutely, truly sensational race we were going to get.
I do believe as well that's his first DNF of the season.
It is, yeah. That's the first time Lee Morris has failed to finish this year at a critical point in the season as well.
I think Nick Rowland was race engineering as well, because he's just off the server as well.
Well, I'm afraid to say that Lee Morris, if he hadn't broken his internet, he certainly will have now. He does have a very hot temper, and that is going to be an absolute enraged Lee Morris. Nobody's going to want to talk to him till Christmas at this rate. But Rudy Van Buren out in the lead. Flo Geyer in second by 11 seconds deficit. David Feidek not far away from him in second and third position, those two. Fran Lopez looking solid now in fourth position. But who's in fifth? Reeling him in. Alex Cooper. He's now going to emerge.
This is the comeback of the century from Cooper. Despite the fact he had a 10-place grid penalty, he's come back to fifth. That's a stunning drive from the number 2 driver. And I've always said about Alex Cooper, he's such a talented driver. After his win at Sochi as well, you know, I always said there's so much talent in that driver. And yeah, he might not have the best car on the grid, but he's always a factor.
Simoncic in, DeVos in. So Simoncic now drops back. And DeVos likewise. Now Gergo Baldi. He is having a really quiet race, actually. And in fact, is having to fight off the attentions of Jason Muscat. Muscat is down the inside of Baldi. Oh, careful, Gergo.
I think Jason Muscat went down the inside there. He really went full force for the inside of the Maltese, giving no quarter. And Baldi may be on the defence a bit much, but Jason was there too. He's going to have the draft into the first chicane now. He's going to go to the inside. There's no way he's going to get it stopped in time if he goes for it. So he rightly says, hang on, I'm just going to hold behind here. Well thought out from the Maltese for certain.
Well, to be fair, I think that was a little bit naughty from Gergo Baldi. He did get enough room to dilly-dally on the inside line. Baldi now makes the mistake on the exit of Lesmo 1. Muscat will get DRS here, and surely that unsettling of Gergo Baldi, Muscat's got to make use of that. Maybe not necessarily overtaking him here. Look, he slots in behind him. Baldi's going to be over-defensive to the inside. Muscat pops out, makes him have a think about it. Baldi uses plenty of curb on the inside of the Variante Ascari. Down the back straight they will go. Oh, Muscat, you've got to stay with him if you want a chance to get him as Cooper pits from 5th position. Muscat now with an opportunity to close up on Gergo Baldi.
That was
a DRS as well.
He'll have DRS too. This is a serious opportunity. Cooper onto the super softs, no surprises there. Muscat versus Baldi though. DRS, draft, both advantages. He's going to get a serious speed boost.
Oh, they've got to be careful. Alex Cooper's coming out of pits.
Oh, this is going to be a close one. Cooper's got, I think, that, though.
Oh.
And, Muscat's not catching up.
He's not using DRS.
Oh, he didn't get it, but Cooper on the inside here and Baldi.
Oh, careful! Goodness me, this is getting a little bit hectic.
Wheels banging left, right, and centre there, but Cooper gets through, back through, and he's going to be like, woof, I managed to escape that one there, but, yeah, that was crazy. Baldi, though, is not giving up down the outside of the chicane now. He's got the speed advantage. Does he have the grip advantage, though? No, he doesn't. Cooper almost comes over on him, but he manages to hold it.
Well, Jason, just sit back a minute. Sit back a minute and watch what these two do, because Cooper and Baldi are very, very tough rivals. They like to go wheel to wheel, and if it gets nasty, then Jason is through into 6th position no matter what. So, Jason, you just need to be a little bit easygoing here. Mind you, Cooper has now dropped the hammer. See you later, boys. I'm disappearing. So now Jason can get back on with this to Gergo Baldi.
Really is keeping the fight up here is Baldi and Muscat, and they are not going to let this up without a fight, either of them. Both are going to catch up to Cooper as well, who's trying to keep going as well. And while the Hawkeye Army are at force all chasing, cheering for Alex Cooper at the moment, I'm sure they'll be very happy with this, going P6 and gaining on the other drivers. Fran Lopez, I forgot he was in 4th for a minute there. Look at him go.
He's doing an absolutely cracking job. With 10 laps to go here at Monza, Fran Lopez has made the Adonis strategy work to his advantage, and he is absolutely on a charge. Lap 44 we're on at the moment as Muscat pits. So he wanted to get past Baldi before that happened, didn't quite manage it. But now it's a case of Rudy Van Buren just doing what he does out in front and controlling the pace in front of Flo Geyer, who is 14 seconds back. Feidek is another 2.2 back. This is a great run from Nortian and good solid point scoring, Tom, which you have to say a lot of other teams have failed to do.
Yeah, that's in fact, I was going to mention that when Lee disconnected. Obviously, Lee is carrying that team to 3rd place. Nortian will solidify their place in 2nd place for 2nd and 3rd. Obviously, Madcape not scoring today. Hawkeye having one driver in or out is not as good. So Nortian looking pretty good for 2nd. Interestingly, so obviously with Lan Lopez, brilliant job in 4th place. Risto Cap is catching him. Risto's on newer, softer tyres. I think we could see a race here.
we could potentially hear, as I've just noticed as well, Jurnej Simičić, he may be down, but he's not out. He's just done a 1:24.9. That, I think, is the fastest lap of the race as well. He may be down, but he's not out, is Jurnej Simičić. And, well, it's just a shame that Mr. Will Panisi has missed so much of it. He's in the comments now. Great to have you with us, of course, the team owner of Norwegian Racing. You missed a heck of a race.
Gergo Baldi, your number is marked here. In fact, he's already got through. Simičić has got him.
Well, man, thank you, man.
Simičić is flying. He's 4 tenths faster than the next person on track. I'm sorry, his fastest lap is 4 tenths faster than the next one. That's Rudy Van Buren, of all people.
And he's almost gone quicker. He's gone within 100th there. He's rock solid at the moment in terms of consistency as Jurnej Simičić. This is why I put him down as a favourite for win, but then he got his penalty.
Well, the Norwegian guys are doing an absolutely cracking job. Flo Geyer and David, they really took the fight to Rudy Van Buren in the early stages, and being able to make those ultra soft tyres last the length that they did was always going to be their best chance of overhauling the Vodbuls. But that car is just so solid when they've got Rudy Van Buren out in the lead, out in front. You're never going to be able to beat him on pure pace. So fair play to Flo Geyer and David Fiduk for trying to take that battle to them and proving they genuinely had a car to hold to them. For me, so far, boys, it's Norwegian that is the team of the day. They've been absolutely exceptional to go up against the best team in the business.
I think they've done a very good job. I think, you know, I might actually have to agree with you. No, actually, you know what? I'm not going to agree with you, Jake. That would be too boring. That would be boring to agree with you. Team of the day for me has been Adonis Engineering.
Yeah, to be fair, once again, just like they did at Spa, Adonis have pulled out some absolutely incredible performances. And this is pretty impressive when you consider, Tom, last time out, they had 2 completely different drivers in the car. They still ran beautifully. But here at Monza, we've got Lopez and Simičić, both of whom are very impressive indeed.
Absolutely. I mean, Fran, in his own right, very quick driver. Obviously, he's been concentrating on world's fastest gamer, so we've not seen too much of his potential. Simičić, he drove for Vodbull when they were fighting CSG for the title a couple of years back, and we know Simičić can win races, so it's not a surprise from my point of view to see him up there, but to come seamlessly back into it, fair play to him. And Simičić is still going stupidly quick, so who knows, Alex might be under pressure pulling into the race.
Well, Cooper is supposed to be trying to reel in Risto Capit. That's his big plan at the moment, but now he is in the verge of running scared from Simičić, who is absolutely eating the roadies under him. So pushing hard indeed here, Jurnej Simičić, wanting at least the top 6, which would be pretty impressive considering he's had a stop-go penalty. He was almost quicker in qualifying than Rudy Van Buren, and he's had a couple of mistakes in this race, like missing his pit box. His first race back in the championship, and to be fair, it's been a battle of a bit of an enraged cluster of mistakes, really. He's had a couple of difficulties in trying to get back up to speed, but fair play to him. His speed has carried, and he's got it on pure ability.
I think he would be around Fiduk if he hadn't made those mistakes, about 27 seconds ahead, so around about there. As looking at Lopez and Risto's a second and a half after a lap, and he's only 2.1 off now.
Yeah, Lopez is definitely being caught by Risto Capit. This is going to be an interesting one as Lopez, again, trying to make those tyres go to the bitter end. Capit has left that last pit stop late enough to do likewise, so he can make those softs run to the end. In fact, I would not be at all be surprised if we have no more pit stops in this race.
Simičić, new fastest lap. I don't know how he keeps the tyres so fresh. It's just incredible. 24.955.
Get him in a Vodbull and he'll win every race.
Yeah, that's interesting. I wonder if there's even a conversation about him joining Rudy Van Buren in 2018, because if they did, my goodness me, that would have been a battle royale.
Well,
the Adonis is the fastest car. It's the most upgraded car.
Well, it's one of the fastest at least, so...
Yeah, I suppose, yeah, but it's not the best, but... Yeah, he's been really impressive coming back. I mean, obviously, this season's all been about the tyres. Have you seen with the stupid amount of pit stops we've had? Always. Who's that? Boulder gets a little bit. Larry, yeah, let's make one. The tyres, it's all about the tyres, and Simičić seems to have this feeling with them where you can make them last, but still be bloody quick on them. And the fact he's gone to the fastest lap after 4 or 5 laps on this stint, that shows a true champion.
I think it does. I think you're absolutely right on that one. It does show the mark of a champion, as I'm sure, you know, Simičić has been great on his tyres and he's been quick. Van Buren's just been out there dominating. That's the mark of a champion too, you know. It's been his season, really, and it's just been the sort of thing. He's coming into this Super League Championship. He said, I'm not going to take any prisoners. He was so good in 2016. Now he's got a permanent drive. He's just shown why he's so good.
So let's see how we can fold this race up, because we've got another, well, 6 laps to go. Rudy Van Buren has got this one on a silver platter. All he has to do now is basically cruise control his way home in 5th gear, and he'll still win the race. Geyer and Fidek will be 2nd and 3rd on the podium. 4th position, though, that is where the battle is going to rage, because if Lopez and Kappa get into it, Cooper could be brought into it, and Simoncic is already closing in on Cooper. So anything from 4th position down is definitely not written in stone yet.
Definitely not. Lopez, I mean, as good as he is, he might still lose this place. Because Kappa, we all know how good Risto is as well.
We'll see if Risto plays it clever. We'll see if he's done what... I mean, Lopez has shown already through this race what a clever driver he's been today. Will Risto stick behind him? He might not get him on this straight, maybe on the next one if he gets DRS. But then, who knows? I mean, it's only 5.5 seconds. Fidek seems to be struggling a lot on his tyres. He's lost a lot of time to his teammate. 3rd place isn't out of question yet for either of them.
Oh, look at Kappa. He's getting a really good line out of Lopez. I think he's got that much more grip. Lopez on soft tyres, Kappa on super soft. He's going to get him in the draft. Watch him. He's on the DRS. Lopez moves to defend. Kappa could even get him before the braking zone. He's going to squeeze him with very little room indeed to manoeuvre. And somehow they both managed to get through the chicane. Kappa is going to make mincemeat of Lopez before very long.
That was close. I thought they were going to hit each other then, but fair play to Fran. He left just a car's width. And there we go, we're still going.
Yeah, still going. I mean, Risto, we all know how good he is, as I say, but Fran has really been one of the standouts for this race. I've been saying for so long about Fran Lopez. He is a good driver. He's talented. He is top-level quality. He's just, in the R-Factor 2, he had difficulties bringing that out. I mean, back in 2015, he was stunning, but he's just had difficulty bringing that potential out in R-Factor 2, and now he's beginning to.
Well, Lopez is definitely going to have to defend like crazy now from Risto Kappa. The Estonian is putting him under some massive pressure. This is going to be a tough one. Down the straight they come into the chicane. Now, is he going to get him on the run to Parabolica? I think not. Probably into the chicane again at the first part of the lap.
Yeah, I mean, going to get him a shot again, but Cabot has got his work cut out here just because of how good Lopez is. I mean, Lopez, I believe, just only 18 years old as well. I remember commentating on him in 2015 when he was, I think he was 15 then. One of the youngest drivers on the grid, and he's showing he's got bags of talent to go with his youth.
Here comes Capet. He's going to get him, though, surely. Lopez hugging that inside. He does not want at all to get through, so he's hugging that inside line. Don't even think about it. You're going to go left, matey boy. Oh, they almost... And Bristow Capet's going to have to overshoot.
Oh,
now, surely that's going to be investigated.
Oh, he gave him the squeeze there, didn't he, Fran Lopez? He is an aggressive driver. He doesn't like to get positions up. He was well on the left, and I think maybe Risto just verged there, but Fran was coming across. But I don't think he intended to push Risto off. I think he might have just misjudged it.
Well, intent is very different from eventual consequence, and okay, I don't think the penalty you give him, if you do give him a penalty, should be harsh, because it wasn't intentional, but at the end of the day, did Lopez gain an advantage from doing so? Yes, he did.
He's pushed Capet through the behind.
Having checked the I mean, it's a very slight movement. Fran does move to the left very, very slightly. I mean that's just bias coming off ball, but I mean it is very, very, very fine margins. But like I said, it's cost Risto maybe even a potential podium shot.
Perhaps so, and well, even a 10-second penalty would still put him 6th, which would be impressive, let's be fair. Even a 6th place would be impressive for Lopez.
I think we should just point out David Francic, fastest lap.
Oh, well.
Yeah. Where did that come from?
Fair, dude, the Croatian on that one.
That's an amazing run from David Francic. Well, obviously he wants some limelight. Hey, you guys are talking about the wrong racing driver. I'm the fastest man in Monza, and he proves it. 13th position at the moment, a lap behind Rudy Van Buren. But he's still the fastest man.
Fidek's missed the first corner. He's really struggling.
Oh, well, those tyres must be going off for DF there, and that can't be going very well for the reigning world champion. And Lopez is going to be, he's just had to go through that. I think he overshot it on the brakes. But Lopez is going to slowly but surely catch up with this race.
Fidek's been very lucky that they've been battling, so I think he would be under immense pressure if he hadn't been.
Yeah, to be fair, that's going to be tough. And if Fidek's really struggling on those tyres, well...
2 laps to go.
You can't pit now. You can't pit now because even if you do, you're going to drop behind. Well, there's a chance you could even drop behind Cooper.
Well, even then, there's 5 seconds between them. Fidek's going to lose 2.5 seconds a lap. And on the second and last lap he did, it was a 27.2. And Lopez's lap was a 27.2 as well. They're matching each other, even though Fidek's got away.
Well, interesting question from Will Panisi, who says he's, of course, the team boss of Nortion. Was there a car's worth of space? Matthew Allington says no. And to be fair, I agree, there wasn't. So Risto Capit's going to have another go at him. But this time, I have a feeling he'll be a little bit more forceful. 2 to go.
He'll be a bit more annoyed, that's much is for certain. I think that'll be annoying him, yeah. But 52, this is lap 52 for Van Buren at least, yeah. He's going to have 2 more cracks of the whip here as the Estonian. Brookie took not that long ago. Now he's fighting for 4th place against Fran Lopez.
Here we
DRS
go.
gained, slipstream gained, speed gained. He's going to go down the outside.
Yeah, Lopez is going to put in there.
No, he goes over before this time.
Well, this time Capit's wise to it. He knows that Lopez is going to do it, so he slots back in position. Next lap is going to be the last one, so you can bet the Risto will try any trick in the book to get past Fran Lopez. But Lopez is the man in trouble here. He's going to be a little bit more wayward. Meanwhile, Bart de Vos is being caught a little bit, I think, by Gergo Baldi. Janic Simicic is not going to make the grounds on Alex Cooper that we thought he was going to. He's going to run out of time. So now the battle is Lopez versus Capit and David Fidek trying to make sure he can keep it on the racetrack.
Yeah,
Risto, what Risto?
Oh, that was a close one for the Estonian. Now he's trying to win the KTGC award, getting his drift on. Steady on, Risto.
What I was going to say was if Risto he needs to dummy him, but I'm not sure if he's going to have the opportunity now.
I think he's too far away now, to be honest. I think maybe he's holding back, maybe on the assumption that Lopez is going to get a penalty for that move. But if he is, he's a smart Estonian. Maybe he just doesn't want to go for it. I don't know. But either way, Van Buren on the last lap of the race now. His teammate's going to win it, if not Risto. Maybe just going to hang back on Lopez now.
Well, the thing is, he doesn't really have a choice. He doesn't want to kill what tyres he's got left. He will have fresher tyres than Lopez, though, but that drift will have killed them a little bit. So I think you might be right. I think Lopez is going to hold on to that 4th position. Well, if it's going to happen, it's going to happen into the Parabolica on the last lap. And we're on the last lap. Rudy Van Buren out in front has stretched his lead in the last couple of laps to 20 seconds on Gaia. Gaia's tyres have finally dissipated, but he's just keeping it on the road. David Fidek likewise. Lopez and Capit, they are a little bit silly for spending so long battling with each other. They could have had an opportunity to go for 3rd place on David Fidek. But Fidek is going to live to fight another day for that one. And 2 Nortians are going to be on the podium. Meanwhile, Capit, look at Risto Capit. Do not give up. I am going for it.
He can still do it. He will.
He can still.
It'll be in Parabolica.
Yeah, it'll be in the Parabolica. Although the only real concern for us at the moment.
Oh, Lopez goes off. Lopez runs one opportunity into the very end to Ascari. They're both struggling on tyres. Lopez has got barely anything left. Risto Capit is going to get him on the DRS.
Rudy wins.
Rudy does win it. Rudy has won it.
Rudy wins the race. Gaia will be second. Finding that. They're banging wheels. They're missing get through. They've got together. Capit and Lopez come together. And Capit.
Go on, Alex Cooper. Go on, get him.
Lopez is into 4th. Cooper's going to get 4th position if Lopez has no rubber. Cooper is now right underneath Lopez. He might get him for the line here. Down to the Parabolica. He's weaving. He might just get him. If Lopez has got no traction, Cooper might beat him to the line. Van Buren first. Guy's second. Fidek third. Cooper's going to give it everything he's got. He might just push him right to the line. But Lopez just gets there. Cooper 5th. Janic Simicic is 6th. Risto Capit will be fuming with 7th position. Look, he falls straight up. He is angry. Bart de Vos in 7th. It's going to be 8th. Gergo Baldi will be 9th from Muscat. Oh, Willie Muscat is going to try and get him on the last lap. Out of the Parabolica. He won't get there. Baldi is going to have to just in front of Muscat. 48 is 11th. Horrell is 12th. And the final 3-point scorers are David Franchich, Bastian Paisler, and Liam Duval. But what a finish. And Lopez versus Capit ends in a collision.
It does. I just want to go back to that because Risto Capit left it to the very last minute to pull out on Lopez there. Left it very late, and then he just... I feel like Capit did to Lopez what Lopez did to Capit. He squeezed him on the inside there. He came across. Lopez was always going to be on the inside, and Risto just comes across a bit. That's when the contact's made. Then he gets caught up on the rear left, and the top right is going to get collision. But yeah, Risto Capit is fuming at that. You can see in the in-game chat how fuming he is. It's unbroadcastably annoyed.
Oh dear, oh dear. Well, I think the wrestling match award needs to go to 2 men and 2 men in particular there. And it's the rage quit fury of Risto Capit and the reluctant retirement from Lee Morris. Both of those men incredibly angry and with very good reason to be fair. They've both been hard done by for various different reasons in that one, but what an absolute stunner of a race. And Tom Parker, that was absolutely terrific racing. And again, proof of what we said, Monza, you have to get it right or it costs you big time.
Absolutely, and we saw Norwegian fair play to try the strategy. Fran had his own, and it paid off. Even was a bit controversial, it did pay off in the end. Alex Cooper, really good drive from 12th place up to 5th, so fair play to him. Bart did very well as well. Jason Muscat, actually, I thought did a very well job. And Ben Hurrell finished the race in 12th place.
We're still watching this battle play out and the collision between them both on the stream. We're watching it again from various angles. And I tell you what, it's really, really tough to figure out who did what to who. But personally, having looked at it several times over, I would say that that is 6 of one and half a dozen of the other. I don't think either one driver actually deserves a penalty more than the other, because I think they both gave as good as they got. Fran Lopez may be looking at a penalty for the earlier incident, but not for that collision. I personally feel, though, Josh, with that little battle between the two of them, that's a racing incident, isn't it?
Perhaps so. It's not for us to decide. I tell you who it is for them to decide. That'll be the disciplinary committee. And I think, Jake, we should buy him a couple of beers because they're going to have a long night in the office.
Yeah, they really are. But let's bring in our race winner to the interview room. An absolutely fantastic display from Rudy Van Buren, back where he belongs on the top step of the podium. Rudy, what can we say? But absolutely sublime. You were never, ever going to lose that one. Well done, buddy.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, that felt good. Felt really good.
You were absolutely exhausted as well by the sound of it. I mean, that must have been really hard.
Well, actually, it was more about someone was talking to me in the previous channel here, and I just got like pulled out of it, like the recapturing, like, oh, what was happening? But yes, yeah, first stint pressure was on, second stint pressure was on. You always got these different strategies evolving around each other, and we saw the notch cars on the ultra soft tire. You never know what they're gonna do. But in the end, we knew we had it, and we could extend the gap, and it was really good, especially after the fuss from last week to pinpoint it a little. This was the good thing to do.
It must have been really interesting in the middle phase of the race when Norwegian were trying to second-guess you on strategy, just trying to make those ultra softs match you for times. Did you always think, though, that they were never quite going to have you?
It was more like we were counting further about what they were going to do stint length-wise for the last one, because Gaia went 12 laps on the first one, 12 on the second, so you obviously go to like 36, and that's a long stint on the super soft in the end. I knew that, but you never know until it's really done. But I was actually surprised seeing them actually. Well, it felt like they were slowing down, just like you just said, to match the times. But they didn't seem to keep up in the last stint either. So I'll take it. I'll take it.
And of course, that means now that we are literally just a step away now from crowning you the 2017 Super League champion. But I'm guessing you being you're not even thinking about that yet.
Well, you always see the points gap and you take a look and you look at, well, it could be possible around there, but everything can happen. We drive it race by race. We try to do good in everything. We try to win them all, let's be fair. But I'm not the only one trying to. So if
behind you.
Yeah, I know, but if we just keep digging off those podiums, then I'll be content with it. And if it happens, it happens. And when, we'll see.
Yeah, I'm sure we will see. And well, I'm sure you'll see to get yourself some nice pizza after that race to celebrate.
Oh, pizza.
Who doesn't want pizza after a Monza like that? We're in Italy, for goodness sake.
Yeah. But what are we going to eat in 2 weeks' time then?
Okay, so next round of the championship we're going to is
Singapore.
Well, that's sushi, surely. Noodles.
Japan, Jake, get your geography right.
Sorry, noodles. Noodles is fine in Singapore.
I'm very sensitive about my Japanese culture. I own a team that's Japanese.
Fair enough. I'll tell you what, though, absolutely fantastic, Rudy, and congratulations. We'll get the Singapore noodles on tap for you. Fantastic.
Yeah, I'll take it. Thank you, guys. Bye-bye.
Absolutely brilliant. Right, let's bring in the man and, well, the two men, actually, who join him on the podium, the Norwegian boys in second and third position after an absolutely cracking run. Second position for Florian Gaia. Flo, at times in that race, it genuinely looked as though you guys could take the fight to Vodbull, but a fantastic result for you guys and loads of points banked.
Yeah, hello. First of all, it's good to be back. Some sort on the podium. I took a time out a bit for 3 races, and now I'm back. Yeah, it was pretty difficult for me after those 3 races. I think I had good pace in them, and last year I won here at Monza, and it's a track I really enjoy and like. So I was hoping to do well, but yeah, where do I start? Qualifying was alright, but I think my PB could have got me pole. Start was alright. Lee nicely braked into turn 1 really late, and I was behind him and Simoncic. But after a few laps, it was easy to notice that he was just smoking his tires. So it was playing the waiting game, and as soon as both him and Lee's tires were gone, I could push and attack. Yeah, but I think it was, for me at least, not possible to catch Rudy today. I got the gap to 7.5 seconds at some point, but I was never really confident enough to push the car, especially at the Lesmo corners, especially the second. I was praying not to go off every lap. But yeah, overall, I'm so happy for me and Dave, especially for Dave. His tires were pretty shot in the end, and you know, the fact that he made it, I'm really happy for the team. Yeah, and congrats to Rudy.
Yeah, to be fair, David, that was really hard work out there in the closing stages. But you guys really had some pretty good battles between there, and the tires looked pretty strong.
Yeah, we pretty much had the strategy down to a T. My biggest mistake was selecting the wrong engine. It was only 60%, and done most of the testing on 100% engine, and was doing low 23s, and then puts in the 60% engine and doing high 23s for quali. So it lost me about, I don't know, 3, 4, 5 tenths. In quali, it didn't make that much difference, but race with the heavy fuel, the engine didn't have the drag to pull the weight along, if you understand what I'm saying. I'm pretty stupid. But yeah, I managed to get just behind Flo, or Lee, P5 I think it was. I had a good start, tucked in behind Flo, had battles with Fran, but I knew, you know, if I let them go, our strategy, because we got the ultras working pretty well then, I'd get it back later, which I did, and caught up to Lee and past Lee, and I was a couple of seconds behind the Flo, and like Flo said, pulled in a couple of seconds to Rudy. But in my excitement out of Lesmo 2, I got on the power too early and damaged the car. And then that was race over. The brakes were overeating, so I had to back off the pace. It was making me run wide turn 1, and then yeah, I pitted because of the damage. I pitted, but didn't repair the damage stupidly. But I had to make the tires go to the end of the race, so I had to back into the 127s, low 28s, and just gap the distance to Fran behind. But yeah. I don't think I would have been any higher. Would have been closer to Flo, considering the engine and all that. But it was a good weekend. Second and third, Flo was on it all the time. Yeah. So move on to Singapore. Hope for better, as usual.
Wow, absolutely brilliant performance, and great to see you guys both on the podium. For me personally, I thought you guys team of the day for my money to get you guys both on the podium.
Woohoo!
Yeah, so you can take that back to Will Panisi. I'm quite happy to say, yeah, you guys were the best today.
Well, I think that both of you guys would agree with it. They were the best team. I wouldn't blame them. I think I've been one of the best teams, absolutely. And, well, 2-3 can't hurt, can it?
It doesn't hurt that much, but it's a bit more painful than 1-2. So
yeah, well, anything's more painful than a 1-2.
Well done, guys. Fantastic to see you both on the podium again, and we look forward to seeing you at Singapore.
Thank you very much, guys.
Thanks.
Brilliant. Right, let's talk to one of the guys for whom the race got away in the most distressing of circumstances. We were robbed of an absolutely incredible battle through the pack as well as a result of it. Lee Morris, that is your first retirement of the 2017 season. Devastating as well, because we were in for an absolute barnstormer.
Yeah, that's thanks for having me back, by the way. That's the most gutting part of it, is because I was liking the score streak, what we had going. Obviously, we kept a consistent finishing record all season. Quite happy with that. And to lose it like that, especially on a day when like there's been a lot of trouble, and I just decided to race and see how it went, and we had good pace. I felt like it was looking good for a P3 finish because I'd done the right strategy, like Flo did, because he pitted a lap before me. I stretched another lap to basically have better tyres at the end of the race when all the other guys pitted, and it worked perfect to come out, and I just had to basically bide my time, let people like Fran fall off the edge of the tyres, and the other guys pit like Fiddick, and I was looking good for a P3. And we weren't far off the Vodbull Rudy today or anything like that, so I was really surprised to have that kind of pace.
Yeah, it was a very interesting middle part of the race because Fran Lopez kind of started to challenge you a little bit. But in terms of the overall pace of the tyres, you seem to have that level of ability to keep them, particularly towards the middle of the stint. The pace was really strong. Did you always feel, if the car had kept going, if you'd managed to get past Lopez, no problem, you would have been able to rein David in?
I was a little bit annoyed at Fran, not in a bad way. I'm not going to slate him or anything like that. Don't worry. But more as in like it was good where he said, because when he passed me, he made such an effort to get past me. You know what I mean? I was like, look, I'm on fresh tyres. You're on older tyres. The only reason when he passed me, he actually messaged me and he said, let's work together. I was like, well, get out of the way then. I'll drag you along. You know what I mean? Because I've been faster than him all race. I was like, what are you doing? You know what I mean? Like, why are you saying? And eventually, his tyres went off, and obviously
that's
then
Lopez.
Well, yeah, it was funny, like thinking about it now. But obviously, I was like, come on, get out of the way. You know what I mean? Like, the only reason you're in front is because you've done the undercut. You're not faster. And I was losing touch with the Nordsons. And once I got past him, I started to reel David back in again. And I was like, that must have cost me like 2 or 3 seconds with Fran. So yeah, without that, I think even P2 was possible because I had similar pace to Gaia. But the only difference is with Gaia and Fiddick again, they were both able to make the ultra softs last longer than I could, and obviously I could only make the super softs last a little bit more than they could make the ultras. So it was like a little bit close. But I know I would have definitely had P3. That's the annoying thing today.
Yeah,
I mean, have to say, go on, Josh.
I was about to say, talk about one way to get someone to work with you, but yeah, another. It was a good run for me until that disconnection at least, Lee. You are definitely up there pace-wise in a car, which we keep remembering this, but we've neglected to talk about it. A car that's massively down in terms of development on the others. So it really is a testament to your racing ability.
Well, I don't know. I personally don't believe there's that much of a difference, but having seen what's happened this week with the upgrades and everything that all got mixed up, today the Vodbulls were very exposed, I must say. Like, and this isn't like me being like nasty or anything like that, but it's basically like Rudy was a lot closer to us, and I had like an hour and a half testing for this race before race, and it was like, and they were all on the wrong settings because I've been doing that world fastest gamer all week, and it's been a nightmare, and basically like Risto was nowhere, you know what I mean? Like he was on pace compared to where they usually are. They're usually 40 seconds down the road, but today I think with more testing we could have challenged for a win, a lot of us, and it's like. The cars, I don't think there's that much difference between them. Like, I think the biggest difference is the pit stops. Once the pit stops like get closer, like we are now, you only lose like half a second in the pits. Whereas before I was losing 3 seconds, and you in a 5-stop race, that's 15 seconds. You know what I mean? Like, and that's a lot of time to lose just by pitting for tires. But yeah, the pace were good. It has motivated me a little bit today because like you say, the tyre wear was really good, and that was always one of the struggles. And I noticed my race pace was very comparable to Rudy's, like at a similar point in the stint on the same tyres. So that was nice. But it has motivated me to like get back on it now because I must admit, like we have neglected GPVWC for the last 2 races. Like obviously, it's world's fastest gamer. I think I've done about an hour and a half testing for both of these GPVWC races, and obviously they've not gone well. Today should have been better, but we'll see what happens next time.
Yeah, well, anything that makes our resident one Pablo Montoya anything more motivated has got to be a good thing in my book. And I should say, well. When he hits it and when he starts practicing, he's one heck of a driver, isn't he, Jake?
Absolutely. I mean, one final question from me, Lee. The way that the season has gone, I mean, your consistency has always been really solid. This is only the first time that you failed to finish the race. Considering how close you were able to get to the Vodbull and the Nordian team in terms of raw pace, do you think that for the rest of this season, with the 6 races to go, there's enough there for you to be able to go for second in the championship? Do you think that's attainable?
Oh, today's a big blow on that because we had obviously we were faster than Risto today and Fiddick, so I would have pulled some points back on them today. So I'm kind of gutted about that because I think I've just lost like 15, 20 points today on them. So it's going to be tough now because obviously David and Risto are no mugs. They're quite fast guys and they're in good cars. But obviously everyone's going to be in good cars by the end of the season because obviously naturally the gaps close when people stop developing up front or they reach the maximum development points. But I think it's a case now of just like. I don't know, just knuckling down. I mean, I'll fully admit, I'll admit now, I've been waiting for the chance on the broadcast, to be fair, to admit that I am the first person and my own worst enemy. You know what I mean? Like, I really I'm hard on myself as well with the driving. I don't just sit there and go, it's all everyone else's fault.
Yeah.
But I don't know, like, I cause a lot of issues for myself. Definitely, I know that. You know, so apologies for that to everyone. Cause obviously, I haven't been in here for a while for certain reasons. But like, I don't know. Like today, also, I mean, I do say there's a lot of bad luck, and people say, "Oh, you don't get your luck, you don't get the bad luck." But today, this week's been a joke. You know what I mean? Like, I've been disconnected from World Fastest Gamer, disconnected from this. It's like, what do I have to do? You know what I mean? Like, I try and turn a leaf, and then it still bites me. It's like, what? There's a sim racing god somewhere. I don't know who it is, but
Really?
they don't like me. Oh, sorry, is it you? Do I start watching you now? Is that what it is?
No, I was gonna ask Lee. Have you ever owned a Sega Dreamcast in your life? Because I have a feeling from history, if anybody's ever owned a Sega Dreamcast and then going to sim racing, that comes back to bite them.
Oh, that's where I've been going on all these years.
I've told you. You need to get all of those demons out.
I personally think it's Grand Prix 4 because I remember playing that and it was one of the buggiest games ever, and the amount of crash to desktops I used to get on that game was ridiculous. I think that's Jeff Crammon's still haunting me.
Do you know what? I've literally just fired up Grand Prix 2 on my gaming PC, and it connects to OBS now, so we might get some vintage Grand Prix.
I go back to that myself because this just ain't
You could join me. You could join me. I tell you what, Lee, absolutely fantastic drive, nonetheless, and it was such a shame that we didn't get to see you to the flag because I think it would have been a great midfield battle there.
So thank you for having me back and everything as well. It's good to be back in here, and again, apologies to anyone offended over the last few weeks or months or whatever.
No problem at all, Lee. Thank you very much.
In the history of my sim racing career, there we go.
Thank you very much, Lee. Cheers, buddy.
Catch you.
Right, well, we've got a 2-week build-up now heading into the Singapore Grand Prix. We know for a fact that we're going to have some very interesting battles to get to that point, but potentially, Josh, this is the first real opportunity. Singapore in 2 weeks' time is the first opportunity, I believe, mathematically, for Rudy Van Buren to seal the championship. So, obviously, he's got to be the favourite to win. Yeah,
Van Buren, he's been dominant all season, really, and, well, I do believe this would actually be one of the earliest wrap-ups since the years of 2008. You know, we're going back pretty much 10 years to get a wrap-up this early and a dominant season by a champion. You know, you are going back so far. I'm just trying to get the stats up myself. But Van Buren is really going to be close to wrapping it up soon, you got to admit.
So what happens then for everybody else? Does it become a best of the rest battle for second position? And when you've got the likes of Lee Morris, Florian Gaia, Christo Capet, David Fidek, all of those in the ability and the battle to go for that second position, who's going to take it over the next 6 races?
Now, that is a lot more open than the Drivers' Championship, I'll granted that. But, yeah, it's going to be a difficult one. It is. I mean, you got Capet there, you got Fidek there, Morris there. If he hits it, he could easily be second. I reckon on consistency, it might be Fidek. But, yeah, as I say, you are really going really far back in the history archives of GPVWC to find such a dominant run to the title as, you know, Van Buren has had. Like, I'm going back 2006 here. Probably the likes of Steve Alanchevsky and the likes of Jana Tanskanen as well. Really dominant drivers. We're talking that dominance, and Van Buren could be joining the likes of him if he takes the title this early.
And of course, he's got the world fastest gamer that he won the first round on now to think about that as well. So who knows? We may have him at Singapore, and then if he wins the title, he'll focus on something else entirely, and then we'll get 5 very open races. Tom, you may end up with a race drive at the end of the season.
Well, I think there is one plan for a couple of races' time, but yeah, we'll see. It's all thanks to me, obviously. That's why Rudy's winning.
Oh, absolutely.
Of course, I mean, all thanks to Tom.
We know for a fact that motor racing teams do not win without their test driver. So absolutely, Rudy Van Buren needs to a big thank you for this.
Like Mike Pittman, eat your heart out. Tom Parker's where it's at.
Yeah, I mean, fingers crossed I'll get a couple of races in the end of the season. Like I said, Rudy, if he does choose to focus on other things, he might let me have a go. But we'll see. I'm not too fast. I'm quite happy doing my test drive and pretty quick in there. So who knows? You might be commentating on me soon. Sooner than you think.
Fantastic.
Which will be a lot better than you commentating on me because I'm terrible.
Absolutely fantastic. Well, I tell you what, that is an absolutely fantastic Italian Grand Prix. Rudy Van Buren cleans up as the winner. The Norwegians are on the podium, but that last lap battle between Fran Lopez and Risto Capet. Stay tuned on GPVWC.com because I have a feeling that we haven't heard the last of that one. A huge thank you as well. An absolutely huge thank you to Tom Parker and to Josh Anderson alongside me once again tonight. Thank you, boys.
It's been a pleasure.
Welcome.
Well, so what do we do now? We get ourselves prepared for Singapore. We dig out the noodles, not the sushi. And we get ourselves ready for 6 more races of absolutely fantastic badinage around the circuit. And of course, Singapore is going to favour the teams that are good with strategy. So Nordsian, potentially Lee Morris and Madcape again. But Rudy Van Buren with a chance to wrap up the title. You can bet your bottom dollar he's going to go for it. I'm Jake Sanson on behalf of everybody at GPVWC. A huge thank you as well to Argo Teder on the broadcast coverage to keep the cameras flowing for us. A huge thank you to Josh, to Tom, to all of you for watching. See you again in 2 weeks' time for more action from the GPVWC Super League.